college football's all-time touchdown king. Across the line, Stanford, putting a premium on defense, playing with pride that starts with its head coach, David Shaw. Both teams poised to win, but whatever the outcome, they will earn the right to remember forever that they played in the granddaddy of them all. You are looking live at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, site of a holiday tradition that has brightened the new year for over a century. And on a gorgeous, sunny Southern California afternoon, we welcome you to the Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. A matchup no one saw coming in August or even October. Stanford, without quarterback Andrew Luck, upset USC, and then Oregon to win the Pac-12. Wisconsin, without quarterback Russell Wilson, lost 5 games, 3 in overtime, until they rallied to hang a 70 on Nebraska in the Big Ten championship game. Stanford is playing in its 3rd straight BCS Bowl, but its first Rose Bowl in over a decade. Wisconsin simply calls Pasadena Madison West. This is the Badgers' 3rd straight trip to the Rose Bowl, but they haven't won here since 2000. And between them, these two great schools have played in 22 Rose Bowls. Welcome, everybody. We're Kirk Herbstreit. I'm Brett Upser. A very happy New Year to everybody. And Jay Kirk, when you go back to Stanford, the last time we saw them in Eugene, Oregon, big underdog, and they come away with one of the upsets of the year.
Well, it's been a remarkable story if you really think about it. The last 4 years for this program, the last 3 years, they've been in BCS bowl games, the Orange, the Fiesta, and now today in the granddaddy of them all. David Shaw doing an exceptional job in his 2nd year. It really starts up front with their ability to run the football against this Wisconsin team. Stephon Taylor is a physical back, one of the best backs in the country. I really think that they're going to have the combination of looking at Kevin Hogan in the backfield, throwing the football, and also Taylor's ability to run the ball.
Well, you know, such an interesting build-up to Wisconsin's appearance here. It's all about the coach. Brett Bielema won the Big Ten and then left to take the Arkansas head coaching job. But back in the saddle after a 9-year absence, Barry Alvarez. And Herbie, what does he mean to the Wisconsin team here today?
Well, you lose a great coach and a coach you believe in Brett Bielema, and now you have a coach who they're very fortunate to have as athletic director, comes down after being asked by Mike Taylor and the team to come down and coach, who has great experience, not just getting to 3 Rose Bowls, but you see at the bottom he's 3-0. And what I think he brings more than anything is a belief, a swagger. I've been here, guys. Follow me. I know what it takes, and he's really built a lot of camaraderie in his last 30 days or so, where this team now is excited, and I think the continuity within the coaching staff, both coordinators have been coaching this team, getting them ready, and I think they believe that they can win it.
So when Barry was last seen at a Rose Bowl, he came here with a guy named Ron Dane. Now he's got Monte Ball, who's pretty good.
Pretty good running back to inherit to get ready for this one game. I mean, Monte Ball is sensational. We've seen him the last few years. His vision is remarkable. He does a lot of those jump cuts. You'll see him challenge the Stanford defense on the backside. The vision here, not to give up on the play, but to be able to go back into the middle, and then to be able to have the burst and the acceleration to be able to take maybe a 15-yard gain and to be able to take it all the way to the house. But the thing I love about him is how tough he is as a runner. He will lower his shoulder and run right through both linebackers and safeties who come up into the line of scrimmage and try to challenge him. And if I'm Stanford, I've got to take Monte Ball out, and I've got to try to make, whether it's Kirk Phillips back there at quarterback or eventually Joel Stave, make Wisconsin throw to beat me. And if you can do that, you got a chance to win this game.
And of course, the two defenses become a big issue. Can they stop either of these great running attacks?
Exactly. I mean, Stanford's defense has been very physical the entire year. I think most people that have not seen them nationally, that'll see them for the first time today, will be shocked to see how physical they are in the front seven, how athletic as a group overall they are. And Wisconsin, it's kind of Wisconsin. They're going to be determined to be able to slow down Stephon Taylor. They've got to get pressure the best they can on Kevin Hogan.
Nah, it should be a very entertaining game. And right now, we're going to go down to the Stanford Cardinal Marching Band, directed by Dr. Giancarlo Aquilante, for our national anthem. Always such wonderful anticipation in the Rose Bowl for the arrival of the teams and the start of the game here between the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. Stanford already out on the field. Head coach David Shaw, second year as head coach, replaced Jim Harbaugh when he went to the San Francisco 49ers. The quarterbacks, of course, they change during the season. One thing doesn't change with their big tight end Zach Ertz, number 86, one of the best in the country. And on the other side, here comes the legend. Sweater vest, sunglasses, white Adidas, ready to lead him out. Imagine a few butterflies with the old coach. This has been the Nissan pregame shift. So now, of course, we anticipate conference. Jerry McGinn will be down there with the captains. Rose Queen will be down. The captains come out to midfield now on this beautiful day in Southern California. Tournament of Roses President Sally Bixby, Grand Marshal Dr. Jane Goodall. So now we go down to Jerry McGinn.
Gentlemen, congratulations on an outstanding season. Welcome to the 99th annual Rose Bowl. Today we have some special guests with us to help us celebrate your outstanding season. We have the president of the parade of the Rose Bowl tournament, Sally Bixby, along with her husband, Dr. Harlan Bixby. They will present the coin, the special Rose Bowl coin. Today we have W for Wisconsin, S for Stanford. We have a special guest who will flip it, and whoever initial is facing up will be the winner of the coin toss. Our special guest is Dr. Goodall. Doctor, will you do the honors, please? Yes, ma'am. Stanford is the winner. You want the ball. Which way do you want to kick? Wisconsin, Stanford right here. Stanford will receive, defend this goal. Gentlemen, shake hands, come on back.
Coach, Stanford hasn't won a Rose Bowl game since 1972. What key piece of advice have you given this team about really taking advantage of today's opportunity?
Well, you know, today is about us playing together, playing for each other, doing whatever it takes to win the football game.
Coach, enjoy it. Now let's go over to Tom. And Brent?
Look down at our grand scene here. One of America's great stadium spectacles. People still filing in. Stanford will handle the ball first.
Interesting, Brent, that Stanford wins the toss and they want the football. David Shaw may be trying to send a message here early to his team.
There's a series history. They first met back in 1959. The Badgers have never lost to the Cardinal. Met here in the 2000 Rose Bowl, won by Barry Alvarez and his great running back Ron Dane, who rushed for 200 yards that day. Checked his headset. Bucky's ready. So settle back, everybody. Another American Classic is about to begin. Kelsey Young for Stanford. Out to the 20. Seems only appropriate that we bring in Andrew Luck to introduce the Stanford quarterback today.
Hi, this is Andrew Luck, class of 2012. Let's meet Stanford's starting quarterback for this year's Rose Bowl, Kevin Hogan, a redshirt freshman from McLean, Virginia. Good luck, Kevin, and go Stanford.
I imagine that, Herbie, that Andrew will be keeping close eye on the Cardinal today as he gets ready to take the Colts into Baltimore next weekend in the NFL playoffs. This is a bowl game that Andrew Luck did not lead the Cardinal to. As Herbie told you, the Fiesta Bowl last year. Running play on first down with Stephon Taylor, number 33. He's a senior from Mansfield High School, Texas. And Herbie, here is the young man who took over in the middle of the season. He started his first road game in that upset of Oregon.
You can see his 4 starts. He's 4-0, beat 4 ranked teams. And speaking of Andrew Luck sending messages to Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, and also David Shaw after he saw Kevin Hogan step in and say, that's starting to look more and more like our offense from a year ago because of the mobility and the athletic ability that he has at that position.
Hewitt motioned out, and they come back with Taylor. And he is stopped by the middle of that Wisconsin defensive line. Bo Allen, the first to hit him, are impact players for the Cardinal.
Yeah, Stephon Taylor is going to have to carry the load offensively when it comes to running the football. Zach Ertz still look to try to isolate, especially on third downs and one-on-one opportunities. And then Shane Scove and Chase Thomas will lead a very physical and active linebacking crew for the Stanford Cardinal defense.
Passing situation here. Cody Whitfield, a freshman, one of the receivers on the field for the Cardinal. Montgomery's your motion man. In trouble. Good on the move. Trying to pick up the first down. Steps out of bounds with that fine mobility of his, Herbie.
And this is what we've talked about in the last 4 games in this offense, what he brings to the table. This is the difference. They had him. They had a sack at the very least, make him throw the football away. This is what he's going to challenge with Wisconsin all day. Ability to keep the play alive, his vision downfield, trying to think about throwing the ball downfield. But instead of throwing it, he has the quickness and speed and awareness to be able to find that first down marker to keep this drive alive.
Cardinal using receivers to shuttle in the play. Patterson brought this one in. Backfield is empty. Offensive line holds up, and on first down, they come to the great tight end, Zach Ertz, redshirt junior from Alamo, California. And folks, one of the best that we have seen the last few years.
It's interesting. They go with an empty package. The reason is they want to try to isolate just like that. Try to get Zach Ertz matched up against Mike Taylor and Chris Borland one-on-one. That'll be a big theme in this game when they want to throw the football. Trying to find ways to get the linebackers from Wisconsin, who are very physical against the run, get them out in space and make them defend the pass.
Very good fullback in Ryan Hewitt.
He stays right ahead of Taylor. Taylor steps outside with that vision, battles to midfield and across it. Another first down for the Cardinal. Southward with the stop.
Really good job of blocking by the right side of the offensive line. Also, Devon Cahoust gets involved, the juice rather, at the wide receiver. You'll see him come in and get involved off to the outside as well. This offensive line, right now, these first 15 plays that Pep Hamilton is scripting, they're adjusting on the fly, trying to see what Wisconsin's doing, the little wrinkles they're trying to add, and they have to adjust on the fly.
Wilkerson ran the Wildcat. It's a reverse pass. Turl going right down the field, and it's caught. Patterson reaches up at the 15-yard line. An outstanding athlete out of McDonough, Georgia, and what a catch. 34 yards.
Brett, this was so slow in developing that Wisconsin was there the entire time. Shelton Johnson saw it. The safeties felt it. I don't think Patterson fooled anybody. He just made an outstanding catch in high pointing the football and going up and being able to somehow secure that. What concentration. Wisconsin was there. It was just a better play by Patterson.
Now their first play in the red zone. And it's Stephon Taylor off fake. They come back the other side off a reverse action for the touchdown with Kelsey Young. He is a converted running back to wide receiver, and he is lethal carrying the football. Kelsey Young scores the game's first touchdown.
If you're a Stanford Cardinal fan, it's exactly the way you want to see this game started. What an outstanding drive. 7 plays, 5 runs, and a couple passes, and they put a touchdown up on the board.
Jordan Williamson will beat Oregon with a field goal. And he makes this Stanford 7, Wisconsin nothing. After sending Taylor off to the right, countering back here with Young. He's a sophomore from Norco, California. We welcome you back to the Rose Bowl. That's why Stanford, Herbie, took the offensive side of the ball after winning the coin flip.
What a great job in developing this play. The backside guard, you could see him pulling around Wilkes. That's what caught the linebacker and safety's attention. They're thinking it's another power play trying to get the ball to Taylor. So by pulling the left guard around, the linebackers are locked in on stopping Taylor from that power play. They end up pulling Schwartzstein, the center, around the left end. And Wisconsin was so full, there was nobody there for Schwartzstein to even block. Well-designed play and an outstanding drive by the Cardinal.
Kenzel Doe and James White back deep. This is Doe, and he's going to come out from 2 yards deep. Not a good decision. Down at the 10-yard line. Well, we've heard from Andrew Luck, so it's only fair that we hear from the other side.
I'm Russell Wilson, starting quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. The Badgers' starting quarterback for this year's Rose Bowl is Kirk Phillips, senior quarterback from Kingsport, Tennessee. Good luck out there, Kirk, and on Wisconsin.
Russell Wilson and the Badgers beaten in the highest scoring Rose Bowl game ever a year ago by Oregon. And Russell, too, is going to the NFL playoffs. He'll be in Washington to play the Redskins in RG3 next week. They want to throw off an end around. Incomplete, and it'll be second down. I believe that was Melvin Gordon.
It was.
Off that jet action coming around, hoping that he could catch him by surprise with the left hand.
Well, the jet sweep was so effective in Indianapolis in the Big Ten Championship. They were trying to hope by showing it on the first play, Stanford would be coming up to be able to stop it, and they were going to try the little trick play to throw the football on the very first play of the game.
Ball be placed at the spot of the infraction. Loss of down, second down. There was no receiver in the area.
Got him an intentional grounding on the very first play.
Whoa. Not only was it a little bit ugly, I thought he was under duress myself on that play. is spotted inside the 5-yard line. Monte Ball is the eye back in the end zone, and he's going to try to come out. He's got daylight on the left side. 20 to the 27. Beautiful first run by Ball, Herbie.
Well, and a huge play for Wisconsin, considering the way this game has started, and a good job of cutting this back to his left. The play is well designed, outstanding execution by that Wisconsin offensive line. You can tell when Monte Ball runs, the backside blocks are just as important as the play side blocks. Good job of coming to the backside there, and good vision again by Ball.
So after the costly penalty, Ball picks up a first down. And they come right back with him. And he picked up about a yard on that. Kurt Phillips is one of those youngsters that you feel so happy, Herbie, that he got a chance. He's gone through 3 major knee operations.
Go all the way back to the spring of 2010. He had his first ACL. He had another one in November of 2010. Had an infection, a 3rd reconstruction. He's battled back. He ends up being the 3rd quarterback that they've used this year, and he's 2-2 in the last 4 games, and the 2 losses were in overtime to Ohio State and Penn State.
So Gordon is split out to the left side, and here he comes with that jet sweep, and they fake, and the quarterback Phillips is taken down.
Stanford is going to do everything that they can to try to stop Monte Ball, and I think they're very confident that if they can get Phillips and this Wisconsin offense into these kind of situations, 3rd down and 9, that they've got a shot to be able to be effective defensively. Remember, they're #1 in the nation with 56 sacks on the year, and you get them down to 3rd and long, they're going to bring a lot of pressure on Phillips here. Let's see how he handles it here for his first chance.
Doe and Frederick are 2 wide receivers off to the right. Abradaris, their best possession receiver, is to the left in this formation. Phillips looks in that direction, out of bounds, and he thought Abradaris was going to turn it out upfield. Instead, he was going down the field.
This is not the strength of this offense in 3rd down, and Alex Carter, a freshman, realizes in 3rd and 9, that's great coverage. I mean, that's just outstanding, knowing the down and distance, using his body and using the sideline as another defender. There was nowhere to go that time for Phillips. Nobody was open.
So Drew Meyer is back, and Terrell waits for the punt. Meyer, the punter, redshirt freshman from Heartland, Wisconsin. Sort of a low line drive. And Terrell will just let it roll dead at the 21-yard line. Stanford's 2nd possession coming up when we return to the Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl game is presented by the Vizio Fandemonium Fan Challenge. Learn more at Vizio.com/Rose Bowl. Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Mas. The new 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. And DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
We're seeing some of these great views of the Rose Bowl game, courtesy of the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Kevin Hogan with the offense back on the field. Hewitt is off to his left. Taylor. Play action. Hogan rolls off to the right. Throws downfield to Drew Terrell.
Last time Stanford had the football, they went right down the field, and a big part of it was this trick. Nice throw here by Terrell, but really an exceptional catch by Patterson. And then they catch him off guard the very next play. The reverse to Kelsey Young. Wisconsin's defense not anticipating it. You can see the big center had an easy way there against the only man left there, the corner from Wisconsin.
19 more yards for this Stanford offense. And they use the Wildcat. Direct snap to Taylor. And Taylor busts for another 9 yards on this play. So offense, Herbie, is having its way against his defense. They are really moving down the field on him.
Yeah, and I think right now what we're seeing is a Wisconsin defense that is prepped for 3 or 4 weeks. They knew what was coming, but it's one thing to try to simulate this power style in practice. But all of a sudden, these linemen start moving and executing in a way that you're not used to seeing. It takes some time to be able to adjust. Even this style of offense, you typically say that against these up-tempo spread teams, but it's even more so against a physical team that's going to try to pound you like Stanford.
Toilolo and Ertz, 2 tight ends are in this formation, and they will run Taylor on a nice cutback as he comes across midfield to the 46-yard line, and Mike Taylor with the stop.
And what happens when they run the power and they have their balance is it eventually sets up their play action game, because the linebackers, and Wisconsin has 2 good ones in Mike Taylor and Chris Borland. They're going to start to really get dialed in on their keys, their run keys. We got to fit better against the run. We got to stop the run. And that's when Pep Hamilton, either this play or the next play, do not be surprised to see some kind of play action if those safeties and linebackers are cheating.
Play action. Hit on the release. Got a man open. Ertz grabs it inside the 5-yard line. Oh, baby, what a catch.
We just talked about these safeties and linebackers start to cheat up against a running game because they're getting 8 and 9 yards a carry. You got to look out for Zach Ertz, and that's exactly what happened here. He gets hammered as he throws it by Hemer, but this is the guy that they've got to get the ball to downfield. Zach Ertz, the top tight end in the country in my mind, 6'6", 252 pounds, and how about the throw by Kevin Hogan? Despite being ready to get hit, he puts the ball where Ertz can make a play on it. Just a great drive here again by this Stanford offense.
Hewitt lined up in front of Taylor. Here comes Taylor behind him, battling. Touchdown, Stanford. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Badgers in trouble early. Williamson makes it a 14-0 lead, so they drive 80 yards, Herbie, and now 79.
And it was all set up again. A big play here, play action on 1st and 10. They get the ball downfield to Zach Ertz, and the very next play to their go-to man, Stephon Taylor, into the end zone. And right now, the Stanford Cardinal could not do anything wrong. They're up 14 here early.
Welcome back to the 99th Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. And our aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Ah, yes, the tree made it. Herbie, this is the first Rose Bowl game that I've ever had the pleasure of doing where the band is on double secret probation. But I must say, they came out and they behaved themselves and they played a great national anthem.
Yes, they did. Quite a contrast from the band from Wisconsin. A little bit of a different feel.
James White and Kenzel Doe now are back deep for the Badgers, who definitely have to rally around the boss now. He'll take a knee this time. Come out on the 20. Well, a couple of teams that dreamed of playing for the national championship are going to score off in a great Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And that game coming up, Oregon and Kansas State. And that's a Thursday night, remember, folks. The Fiesta Bowl at 8 p.m. What a great ball game that's going to be.
Yeah, Colin Klein's going to have to play exceptionally well. Going to have to take care of the football. Oregon, the big advantage there with the team speed. I think Marcus Mariota could be the story of the game there. Kansas State defense may have a tough time matching up with his ability to run and throw.
Well, the Badgers need to get the first score back that they can, trailing by 2 scores here early going. And they'll bring the Doak Walker Award winner again, Monte Ball. Only got about 3 yards as we check in with Monte and some of these other impact players here, Harvey.
Well, obviously, Monte Ball, we've talked quite a bit about his importance to the offense. Jared Abbrederis, if there is a go-to man on the perimeter and the guy that's got to make plays on the perimeter, it's Abbrederis, number 4. And Chris Borland and Mike Taylor. We've already seen them challenged, trying to stop this powerful running game, and then the awareness to be able to stop the play-action pass. That also will be a challenge for them throughout the rest of this game.
Penalty flag.
Delay a game. You mentioned how the boss is going to have to rally him. I'm kind of sensing the same thing, not just that you're down 14. This is a long layoff.
Please reset the play clock to 25 seconds. There was a malfunction at clock. Second down.
A long layoff, a lot of distractions. Barry Alvarez steps in for Brett Bielema. You get down by 14 early. They need an answer. They need something good to happen to them to be able to get themselves to believe that they're going to be competitive today against this Stanford team.
Here comes Ball. Bust behind the middle, right back at Travis Frederick, the great center, and Morrow makes the play defensively for Stanford.
And Monte Ball has just been phenomenal these last few years. And really, it started in the back half of the 2010 season and had a huge year in 2011. Of course, this year just remarkable. In fact, he leads all backs and all players in college football with the career mark and touchdown. Says it all.
James White now into the backfield for the Badgers, trying to convert on this third down. White breaks away, comes to the left side. Let me check that. Monte Ball was still in there. My mistake. I thought that White had checked in from the sideline, and he had not. Monte Ball, though, picked up a good first down.
Costigan, the 54, picks up the block. Tarpley, the linebacker, was closing on third down and short, anticipating Ball on the run, but great awareness as the guard, Costigan, was coming around. He had to deal with Tarpley in his face right now. He kicked him out just in time to allow Ball to get underneath that for the first down.
Now White has checked back in. He is to Phillips' right. Phillips going to throw on first down. Nice. Incomplete, and there's a penalty flag that was thrown on the linebacker over there. Chase Thomas had coverage.
Personal foul. Defense. Hands to the face. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
That's the leader of this defense, Chase Thomas. He's been playing for 4 years. This will give you a really good look at it right here. Maybe the right hand got up as he was trying to push Doe away. And that is a big break for Wisconsin as they now move into Stanford territory for the first time.
And Ball has returned as the Badger running back right now. Here in the early going, he's run 5 times for 40 yards. Here's his 6th carry. Muscles his way for 3 yards, and Morrow, a redshirt junior from Hearst, Texas, out of Bell High School, been very active in that defensive line for Stanford.
Yeah, you look at this game and you think, okay, how can Wisconsin, who comes into this game dead last in the Big Ten in passing offense with only 162 yards a game, move the ball and being able to run the ball against a defense that only allows 87 yards. They're third in the nation defending the run. They have to do pre-snap movement, the jet sweep. They're trying to deceive Wisconsin or the Stanford defense with a lot of movement before the snap.
Abbrederis comes through and they give it right back to Ball, and the Cardinal was ready for him right now. Ben Gardner, who grew up not far from Madison and might have been a Badger player, made that stop. Mequon, Wisconsin, Homestead High School, redshirt junior, and is he ever excited about playing the Badgers in the Rose Bowl game?
And Gardner stays on the field here as Stanford gets even faster on third down and long. They get the fastest defenders that they have. And again, lead the nation with 56 sacks. Let's see what they do here in getting after Phillips.
Needs 7 yards for a first down on this third down. 4 receivers are out wide. Phillips going to try to take off and run for it. Dives for the first down. The senior from Kingsport, Tennessee, Kurt Phillips.
I'm surprised to see Murphy, the outside linebacker, 93, stay back in coverage. Good job by Phillips to be able to keep this play alive, but Murphy is an outside linebacker, known more as a pass rusher. He's got to be able to close in. There's nothing at all that's keeping him from closing in on the quarterback as he's scrambling. There's not a receiver. There's nothing there. He sat back, and it gave Phillips enough room to pick up the first down.
Best looking drive certainly by the Badgers. Ball, daylight, left side, busts the tackle, keeps on going across the 30-yard line. Monte Ball, Jordan Richards in on that stop, the safety for Stanford.
You and I love the fullbacks, and J.J. Watt's younger brother. Look at this block right there. Great block on Lancaster, 35. There's Derek Watt, who's a freshman at 6'2", 227 pounds, leading the way there for Ball.
And Herbie, if he becomes as good a player as his brother, he's got a great future.
And they say he's got a huge future. There's the movement before the snap, just trying to affect the communication in the eyes of the Stanford defense.
And what a year J.J. Watt is having for the Houston Texans. And here's that long reach to Monte Ball behind the right side of that offensive line. So one thing that Barry Alvarez is doing, he's keeping a helmet on a helmet, Herbie, with that offensive line. That's his style of football. He's not getting away with it, even getting away from it, even though he's down 2 touchdowns.
He can't, because he doesn't have the offense that is built in a way to all of a sudden say, oh, we're down 14, we've got to change things up. They've got to stick to the game plan that they came in here with, and that's power football.
And they're going to use Wildcat with James White right now. He'll take the direct snap from Frederick. He'll run right straight ahead into that pile. There's a penalty flag on both sides of this play. It's thrown down there on the 25-yard line, and
a free play
Alvarez is saying, take that snap. Yeah. Take those 5 yards.
It's a couple penalties here to help Wisconsin to keep this drive alive.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, and result in first down.
Again, this is a big drive. It's Trent Murphy lined up off the edge there, the outside linebacker, trying to guess the snap count. You saw James White check into the game, and he got excited to try to come up there and help out.
Each of those offensive linemen that you're looking at weighs better than 300 pounds. Rick Wagner, left tackle, 58, the most celebrated of the group. They bring the jet sweep with Gordon. Gordon got the edge. Very close to a first down. That burned Nebraska repeatedly.
Absolutely. Shane Scove, the middle linebacker, came on a blitz right through here, but it's a poor angle by the safety that allows Gordon to be able to get even further to the outside. Scove misses. You can see the poor angle there by Richards. He barely got a hand on him, or Gordon could have taken that all the way to the house.
Arneson checks in as one of the tight ends. Second down and very short. And this is White. White for another Badger first down. It'll be first down and goal. Now Monte Ball trots back onto the field. He's the touchdown machine.
He runs with such great hunger and desire down in there, but isn't it nice for Wisconsin to have James White and Melvin Gordon in that backfield to be able to keep these backs fresh, which will be very, very important if they want to stay in this game. All three have a pivotal role in competing against this Stanford defense.
Derek Watt returns as the fullback. As we come to the end of the first quarter, Stanford dominating, leads at 14-0. But Wisconsin is threatening. When you come back for the start of the second quarter of the 99th Rose Bowl game.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Area coverage provided by Goodyear. Tires that go the distance make Goodyear a fan favorite. Goodyear, more driven. Herbie, good-looking drive. Badgers with a first and goal at the 8-yard line.
Going to be interesting to see the play selection. I mean, Monte Ball is one of the best we've ever seen in being physical and being hungry, but Stanford's a tough defense down inside the 10-yard line to run the football on.
A couple of tight ends and a fullback. to help with the blocking. And here comes 28. Monty Ball, touchdown. That was easy. And there's a penalty flag thrown back on the 10-yard line. Coming back.
First down.
And Rick Wagner, the left tackle, who was on the outside. This play went right up the middle. He's off to the left. He locks on with his man. Look at the far left, how he locks onto his man, grabs him, and then brings him down. That's what they saw. It's a good call. Quick call. We had two officials make that call quick.
We have to teach this referee not to talk into the teeth of a crowd. No one can hear exactly who he's pointing out was guilty of holding. Now it's backed up. Here comes Ball again. And he's back to about the 13-yard line.
We talked about how impressive it was to see the boss, Barry Alvarez, and Matt Canada, who's the offensive coordinator, still calling the plays. Barry telling us this morning that he's going to allow Matt Canada to call the plays, but there's Matt, certain downs, certain plays, he's going to kind of help guide him and have the overall say on what the play will be. But right now, Matt Canada in charge of calling these plays and try to get him in the end zone.
Second down and goal for the 14. They keep it in Ball's hands. The Badgers have not completed a pass. And that was an obvious passing situation. And Herbie, as you pointed out, it's very difficult to stay on the ground in that situation.
And when you run on first and second down, if you're going to take a shot with a pass, typically you may want to do it on first or second down here. The penalty just set him back. It killed them. Wagner didn't have to hold there. That's going to be a touchdown without that hold. But now you try to get your first completion on third down. It's going to be tough. Abradaris is definitely their go-to man here, who's in the slot to the left.
Pedersen, the tight end, is out also. Reaches for Jacob Pedersen. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
Everybody thinking maybe Abradaris, but Jacob Pedersen's had a pretty good career himself. What an effort, Brent, to extend. They might take a peek to see if his knee was down. Pretty good effort to extend to the end zone, but did his knee touch before he broke the plane?
It appears so in that picture.
It's like he's down maybe on the 6-inch line. Looked like he might be short.
And that was a third down, correct? So
fourth and goal.
Stanford says number 28's coming on fourth and goal.
No doubt.
Would he be the heavy favorite right now?
Yeah. Yeah, great effort. Pedersen in traffic makes the catch. And then just trying as hard as he can to reach, but clearly his knee touched before he got into the end zone. That's a great look at it right here. Knees down, he's short. Sets up a really big fourth and goal here for this Wisconsin team. It's a 13-play drive. They've gone 74 yards in a little over 8 minutes. That's a Wisconsin kind of drive. And Barry Alvarez, welcome back to coaching. Fourth down and goal. And he's got to not just make the decision, but help Matt Canada make the right call here to try to get the touchdown. Assuming, of course, that they're going to try to get the touchdown. Brent, we've seen Kirk Phillips the whole way so far, but Barry Alvarez and his staff giving you and I every indication that Joel Stave, at some point, the freshman, will eventually get into this football game.
After further review, it was determined that the runner's knee was down prior to going in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the half-yard line on the left hash.
Wisconsin getting their jumbo package ready.
But White is trotting onto the field. All right. Now James White, and that gives them the option of running a wildcat here on 4th down.
Sure.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to line up number 20, offset the fullback. Extra tackle. Straight ahead, didn't battling for it. I don't think he got it. I don't think he got the touchdown. I think Big Ben Gardner got to him first. The young man from Wisconsin.
Very, very predictable. Gardner shoots the gap, uses his quickness against the size of Wisconsin. Wisconsin came in with their heavy package. They brought in the jumbo look, all the big linemen. And again, speed wins the battle in the trenches. He gets lower, and he penetrates that big offensive line and keeps White short of the end zone.
So let's second guess Barry Alvarez for the first time. Welcome back, Coach, but what was wrong with number 28? Just kidding, Barry. So Stanford is backed up in the shadow of its own goal at the half-yard line. Hogan under center, standing in the end zone. Hewitt, the fullback, is stopped. I do not believe that's a safety. I think he got back to the line of scrimmage. Southward was pushing him back, and they'll spot it outside of the end zone, and it'll be 2nd down here.
Pretty good collision there with Southward coming up. And remember, Stanford's had the football only twice. 7 plays, 80 yards, touchdown. 5 plays, 79 yards, touchdown. 13 yards a play. It's a little bit of a different story for David Shaw, backed up inside his own 1-yard line.
Badger defense attempting to attack here. Battling to get out, twisting to the 6-yard line on 2nd down, and a little daylight with Stephon Taylor. That was a good, tough run.
Stanford had a couple big plays early in this game. First, a great catch by Jamal Rashad Patterson going up in the air. That eventually led to a touchdown, and then play action here on 1st and 10. They find Zach Ertz. Great job by Hogan throwing it downfield.
Badgers will try to hold on 3rd down. Penalty flag, and there's a false start. This is going to back them up half the distance.
False start. Offense, number 65. Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
Khalil Wilkes out of New Jersey, a junior. Great player at left guard. That time just anticipating the snap count. First time we've seen Stanford deal with a little adversity, and Kevin Hogan deal with some adversity. David Shaw saying one of the greatest attributes of Kevin Hogan is his poise.
3rd down and 8. Taylor, stop, and the Badgers have forced a punt. Big Chris, well, I shouldn't say not so big, but Chris Borland is a tackling machine.
He is. And you're right about not saying he's real big, but he is a fierce competitor. At 5'11", 242 pounds, he's right in the middle of this defense, and he's coming downhill in a hurry. He and Mike Taylor have got to be active, making a lot of tackles today against Stephon Taylor.
Let's see if the Badgers come after this one. The punter is standing near the back of the end zone. He gets it out. Abradaris fields it and is tackled immediately at midfield. The safety made a great play on that for Stanford, and that was Amanum. Amanum makes the stop. And we'll be right back to the Rose Bowl game, presented by Vizio. Here at the Rose Bowl, Stanford leads Wisconsin by 2 touchdowns, 14-0. And as expected, Joel Stabby, redshirt freshman from Greenfield, Wisconsin, number 2, is checked in as the Badger quarterback. James White is his running back. Gordon on the jet sweep gets a handoff, trying to get the edge, looking for daylight, and he picks up a first down at the 34-yard line. Carrington may have saved a touchdown, Herbie.
Sorry, Brent. Here's the view from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam, and this is a play that a lot of people remember in Indianapolis against the Nebraska defense, the jet sweep. And such great speed and such a great compliment to Montee Ball running into the interior. You get Gordon out to the outside. It really does a good job of getting this defense on the outside and challenging them, that vertical speed and how quickly Gordon can hit it.
Aberderis and Doe are over on the left. Play action now. Stabby's going to go deep for end zone. Aberderis is open, and he couldn't hang on. Incomplete in the end zone. But I think Stabby just showed you why the coaches wanted him on the field.
He's got the bigger arm, but it's a double move here by Aberderis. He's known for this. A beautiful move by Terrence Brown. He gets by-in. And I'll tell you what, the ball is thrown well enough to give him a shot here and be able to make this play. It's actually Barry Browning there in coverage. Really well thrown ball. Shocking that Aberderis unable to hold on to the ball.
Even more shocking, Kurt Phillips has returned to the game.
That was a pretty good throw.
2nd down and 10, and Phillips is back as the quarterback with White as the running back. Jet sweep again. It's going to be Gordon, this time Cardinal ready. The defenders over on the right side did not give ground, and Lancaster made the stop for Stanford.
What's great about the jet sweep for this offense is whether it hits a big one or not, it makes this defense have to play Wisconsin's running game honestly. And what you can do if you have it a few times you get to the outside, it can eventually get back to Montee Ball and James White between the tackles. So you bounce it to the outside, and then you keep them honest by going back to the inside. A little bit of a chess match between Matt Canada and what Derek Mason's doing on the other side.
Phillips. Middle. Aberderis has got it. A deflection, I believe, that he caught. And that'll be a first down across the 15-yard line.
Henry Anderson, 91, moves into the middle, coming all the way from the outside. That ball, I don't even think he got his hand on it, Brent. Either went off his shoulder pad or side of his helmet. The ball went right up into the air, and Aberderis shows you he's a sure-handed receiver that time. Great concentration to be able to hold on to this, but yeah, that went off the face mask of Henderson, and the ball that time bounces in favor of Wisconsin.
Montee Ball checks back in. He is behind Watt. Montee steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown. And I think this one will stick.
He is a beautiful jump cut, bounces it to the outside. This guy just has a nose for the end zone, reaches and extends and gets the 6 points for the Badgers.
The all-time career touchdown leader in college football. And the new field goal kicker, Jack Russell, will attempt this extra point here for the Badgers. 14-7 with 9 minutes remaining here in the first half. The defense set this up, Herbie, by forcing that punt. They had great field position, and this time, look who Barry did leave on, number 28.
Down 7, back in it.
The Rose Bowl game is brought to you by Tostitos. Where there's Tostitos, there's a party. The new Discover It card. Finally, a credit card that's changing the game. Dr. Pepper and Diet Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind. And the redesigned Honda Civic, the best Civic yet.
Vanessa Manjarrez, the Rose Queen, the Royal Court. They rode in the Macy's float, presenting the Royal Court in this morning's 124th Rose Parade. The parade older than this great game. And now Kyle French will handle the kickoffs for the Badgers, and you can see why. Drilling it back, and coming out is Kelsey Young. And Young to the 23-yard line. Fine return by Kelsey, who scored one of the touchdowns.
This is a big touchdown by Monte Ball, down 14. See the backside guard pulling around. There's another big block by the fullback here in Derek Watt. That's what set it up. But it's the vision right there. The jump cut by Ball, a big block right here by Wozniak, and even the receiver, Frederick, gets involved. Great blocks on the perimeter, opened it up for Ball, and with that vision, that's an easy touchdown for Wisconsin.
Wonderful scene here in Pasadena. A lot of folks come out, see the floats before they head to the parade. They hang out outside. Those lucky enough to have the tickets are inside. Cardinal football now. Hogan hands back off, and this is Wilkerson, and Wilkerson busts out to the 42-yard line. Herbie, he was not healthy that night in Oregon, but when he is, he's a great backup to Taylor.
Well, he looks like a bull running through here. It's a different look and a different feel. But how about how that play just opened up? The execution again by this offensive line. Let me recommend to any offensive line coaches that are out there, you might want to go and look at the Stanford film, not just from today, but the entire season, and use it as a clinic, or maybe come visit Mike Bloomgren and his Stanford offensive line, one of the best in the country.
They're going to go to the Wildcat now with Wilkerson. Direct snap. A little bit of a counter step to the right. And he steps out at midfield on first down. Cromartie gets him out.
In this era of the spread, it's so refreshing. You and I've called a lot of Stanford games over the years. It's so refreshing to watch guys like this up front who kind of do it the old-fashioned way. And it's not just the size of these guys. They're very, very athletic. They get to the second level. They execute very well. Just a great group across the board.
And they recruited some freshmen that you're going to be hearing from the next few years in there, too. Now Hogan back in from the gun. A wobbler caught by Montgomery, and Montgomery is to the 35-yard line. That's his first catch. The first and down. And first and 10, and Cardinal moving again.
Another good job here by Stanford, trying to get these linebackers out in space. You get a matchup with Ty Montgomery as a receiver who's healthy now after the long layoff, getting ready for this bowl game, up against Mike Taylor. And how about the way you see this quarterback, Kevin Hogan, sitting back in the pocket? Not just an athletic guy. He can run the pro stuff, too. Sits in the pocket with time to throw, finds that matchup, and puts it right on the money.
Taylor back in, but they spread him out to the left and empty the backfield. Hogan incomplete. Now out of bounds here on the far side. Montgomery was waiting, but there was pressure coming that time from Mike Taylor, one of the fine linebackers.
When they spread out Wisconsin's defense, the mismatch to me is going to be with the tight ends. Toilolo, number 11, is 6'8", and Zach Ertz is 6'6". And you've got safeties and linebackers who are anywhere from 5'11" to 6'2", trying to match up with them out in space. That's a very difficult thing for this defense to try to match up with. Stanford will continue to go back to that look quite a bit.
That was Hogan's first miss after 4 completions. And he comes right back to the right-hand side that time. Short of the 30-yard line was Ty Montgomery, the sophomore from Dallas, Texas, St. Mark's High School.
Just been so impressed this year with Kevin Hogan. He started the year as the 3rd guy. I mean, who wants to replace Andrew Luck? And Hogan was, being a freshman, still learning the offense. They kind of had a different wrinkle as kind of a zone read look for him early. And then eventually Josh Nunes lost a couple games, and late in the year they gave him a chance to go out there and take over, in these last 4 games has just been sensational as the leader of this offense.
3rd down and 5.
Man to man.
Now they bring Taylor back into the backfield, and there was movement. Let's see if it was a false start here. There was a timeout was called.
Be a full timeout.
So we'll take a break. Stanford, Wisconsin, 99th Rose Bowl game, and the Cardinal leads by 7. Tiger Woods, who attended Stanford. Several Stanford celebs are here. Condoleezza Rice, former Secretary of State, sitting in one of the boxes, and great Jim Plunkett, 1970 Heisman Trophy winner, down on the sideline as the Cardinal comes up now with a 3rd down on this drive. Trying to throw for it, too high and incomplete. He had Ertz open, but they couldn't hook up.
Yeah, they always want to try to find a way to get Ertz to football. They have Tololo and Ertz matched up together, trying to just affect the communication between the two defensive backs who are matched up out there. Again, Ertz at 6'6", Tololo at 6'8". That ball is thrown lower there by Hogan. It's a 1st down for the Cardinal.
Jordan Williamson will attempt this 47-yard field goal. Here's the young man who missed a couple of huge field goals against Oklahoma State and came back and beat Oregon in Eugene this year. Coach stuck right with him, and he curls this 47-yarder in. 17-7 now. Stanford leads Wisconsin. So the Badgers here in the Rose Bowl, set to receive this kickoff. Hurry, that was good, holding that drive down, potential touchdown, settling for 3.
It was, especially after the first 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Stanford. And they pin them back inside their own 1-yard line. They get 3 and out to get the ball back to their own offense. And then that stop to force the field goal. That's good adjustments there by this defense from Wisconsin.
Doe and White are back deep. This will be Doe coming out. He's down at the 15-yard line. Well, we want to remind everybody that the Discover Orange Bowl will be coming up next on ESPN. Cinderella, dressed up as Northern Illinois, will take on 2-touchdown favorite Florida State. Mr. Herbstreit, some of my friends in DeKalb have said that you're what was it you said? I can't forget.
I said, why are we even talking about this?
Okay.
Yeah, why should they even be? There's a bit different argument between why are we even putting them in this and can they compete in a game where Florida State's probably going to show up flat. I wouldn't be shocked to see them compete.
Jordan Lynch, pretty good quarterback for the Huskies, and here is the handoff, and stopped at the 15-yard line. We take a look at what Monte Ball has done here.
Yeah, he's been able to get out. He's got 70 yards on 13 carries in his first half. Remember, he's had over 100 yards in 2 Rose Bowls. Only 4 backs have ever done that in the history of this Rose Bowl, and he's already to 70 yards. He's been bottled up at times, and then he's hit a few big ones. So he's a big part of this offense, and between that and the jet sweep that we've seen coming around, that's probably been the best offense. We knew that coming in. That'd probably be the best offense for Wisconsin today.
Phillips stays in at quarterback. Stavi in for 1 play on that long pass. Doe on the jet sweep and going nowhere. He is thrown for a loss at the 11-yard line. Jordan Richards, outstanding sophomore safety from Folsom, California, up with the stop.
Derek Mason told his defense after watching Nebraska trying to stop the jet sweep, Derek Mason said, guys, it's pretty simple. On the jet sweep, if they're going to fake the interior run to one side and bring the jet sweep around to the other, our perimeter guys, our safeties and corners have got to stop the jet sweep and allow the interior people to stop the inside run game. That time, great job in run support by 8, Jordan Richards.
3rd down and 11. Phillips starts Doe. Drops off the screen on the other side. That's the ball, and well short of the 1st down. Badgers are forced to punt. Shane Skov, one of quite a few linebackers for Stanford who are going to wind up playing in the National Football League. Number 11 is a big-time player, and so is number 44, Chase Thomas.
And that was a huge play because there was a convoy out there. But somehow Skov's able to get off of Travis Frederick there on a play that was set up on 3rd down with that screen. He shed that block and kept ball short of the 1st down. Great play by Shane Skov.
Drew Meyer back to punt. Fair catch at the 32-yard line. Well, Herbie, this is the start of the BCS. 4 games to go. We talked about the Orange Bowl. We've mentioned the one on Thursday, but how about that 1 week from Monday? Who's meeting down there in Miami in the championship game?
You and I have been so locked into this one. We'll turn the page tonight and get ready for Notre Dame and Alabama. And you know, this is what the postseason's all about. We've had a lot of fun with a lot of these bowl games today and really the last week or so. But finally, after tonight, we've got a couple more to look at, but then the big one next Monday, which just can't wait to talk about and get into.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game between Notre Dame and Alabama. And Hogan, play action, throwing downfield, and that might be interference, and it is. There was no question about that one as the flags came flying, and Cromartie guilty.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 14. Automatic. First down.
Marcus Cromartie is pretty well known. He didn't have a great bowl game last year against Oregon. Came into this game very determined to play well, coming off a great Big Ten championship game. But what else do you want him to do? I mean, it's like playing basketball and trying to out-rebound a guy who's 6'8" when you're 6'1". Ball's thrown up in the air by Hogan, which is smart to give his taller receiver a chance. And Cromartie did everything there, just holding on for dear life. It's obviously interference.
Here's Hogan, going to throw the swing pass to Wilkerson. And Wilkerson out of bounds short of the 50-yard line.
Kevin Hogan knows that if there's a mismatch in this game, when they want to create balance, it's, again, the tight ends. We're going to talk about it throughout the whole game. When you have Zach Ertz, who is arguably the top tight end in the country, who can run and win in one-on-one matchups, and Toilolo at 6'8", you've got to continue to find ways when you're going to throw the ball to find the matchup, to throw the ball up in the air and give Ertz and Toilolo a chance to make a play.
Taylor back in as the Cardinal running back. Hogan. He's been throwing just a little bit high.
Yep. And as soon as he threw that football, he knew that the ball was going to sail on him. He's just a little bit out of rhythm here. I mean, the first part of this game, they seemed to have everything going. And David Shaw came in along with Pep Hamilton with a great plan. Things were working. The running game, the passing game, they've been very balanced throughout. Right now, 23 plays in, 13 runs, and only 10 passes. You know, he is... You know, he's a quarterback that gets streaky like anybody right now. We'll see if he gets a chance here on third down to make a play.
Hogan under pressure. Steps away from it. He's going to take off. And Hogan is short of the first down. The Cardinal will punt it away. Chris Borland with the first down saving tackle.
It's good for Wisconsin that they got pressure because Zach Ertz is lined up almost as a receiver to the outside. Watch him to the left, work to the middle, and eventually open up away from Chris Borland. But the pressure got home. Here's Ertz working, flexed out as a receiver. And even though Borland looks like he's there, the ball's thrown to the middle there. If he had time, it would have been a first down. But good pressure that time by Chris Ash, dialing it up and getting home there and keeping Hogan short of the first down.
Zaklinski back to punt for Stanford, and Abradaris is deep for the Badgers. Signals for the fair catch. Makes the catch at the 15-yard line. Well, we have not mentioned yet the All-State Sugar Bowl, Herbie, and that'll be Wednesday night. And the Gators are back at a BCS Bowl, and they will be taking on the champions of the Big East Conference, number 21 Louisville. And Louisville could cause them all kinds of trouble if Terry Bridgewater's healthy.
Teddy Bridgewater is a guy that has tremendous athletic ability. He's healthy now, gives him a chance. And Charlie Strong, former Gator defensive coordinator, has done such a remarkable job there at Louisville. It'll be fun to see that matchup tomorrow in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans.
Ball back in as the tailback.
Wisconsin has all 3 timeouts and 2:23 here to go.
Ball again. Boy, it is tough for the first man to bring him down as he makes his way to the 20-yard line. I found it hard to believe when Ball decided to come back to school that the NFL had said he projected no better than a third-round draft choice. When you watch him, he gets tough inside yards, and to me, that's the mark of somebody who can play in the National Football League.
Well, he's a guy that can stay on the field. First, second, and third down. He's good in pass protection. He can catch the football, obviously can run to the outside and run to the inside. He is a very physical runner. Will surprise you with his size and dimensions.
Look at him find his daylight off his lead blocker and muscle ahead for a first down out to the 29-yard line. Another thing about the young man, he's got great attitude. Mom and dad are around. You know, he's had great upbringing. I don't think you can go wrong picking him.
No. And in fact, he was known early in his career, more known for his power than his quickness. He's kind of grown in to being more of a big play back.
Now Phillips. See if he can loosen it up. Abradaris out of bounds at the 40, and that's a first down throw.
And a good job of concentrating again by Jared Abradaris. Chase Thomas, who's a great pass rusher, this time sits back in coverage. I think he may have surprised this time Phillips. He actually gets a hand on the football, and Abradaris focuses there and is able to hold on and catch the football for the first down. Starting to think about maybe a field goal here. It's still all 3 timeouts, and remember, they get the ball to start the second half. This is a big drive for Wisconsin.
Phillips will take off. Down the sideline, breaks free. Across the 25-yard line and out of bounds at the 22 with Richards making the stop. And that's a 38-yard run.
And I love that he didn't give up on this play. I watched Jared Abradaris pick up a block here. It looks like he's going to run out of bounds. Look at that seal block. He actually picks up 2 defenders, Alex Carter and Ed Reynolds, with that block. He stays in bounds. A great run there by Phillips.
1:15 to go. And White stopped on first down.
Barry calls a timeout right away. Remember, we've only seen Joel Stavey come in, and he threw that one pass down the sideline into the end zone to Abradaris. It was dropped. They don't have the most confidence in their field goal kicking situation. You know, I was going to say Kyle French, who struggled late in the year, is out of the mix today. Jack Russell is in.
You know, you talked about the quarterbacks, Herbie, and let me take everybody back, because Danny O'Brien, he, of course, of the transfer from Maryland, he opened up under center. Then they went to the freshman for 6 games, and he was injured in that overtime loss to Michigan State. So Kurt Phillips came in for the last 5 games and led them to that big win over Nebraska, and they've stuck with Phillips pretty much, except for that one pass here.
Highly touted recruit coming out of Tennessee, but had 3 reconstructive surgeries on the same knee. That's why he worked himself down the depth chart. But these players on this team love Kurt Phillips, and they want to play for him.
He's got a 2nd down and 10. Got 1:06 to work with here. Coming in underneath with a nice pass. And White is out of bounds at about the 15. Coming up on the Buick halftime report, Chris Lee and Desmond break down the first half, and we will hear from both marching bands.
Again, 2 timeouts left. About a minute. What is a minute 01 here to go in the first half. Cannot emphasize it enough. Stanford won the toss, elected to receive the ball, went right down and scored, meaning Wisconsin and Barry Alvarez will get the ball in the second half.
Barry would dearly love to have a touchdown and not put it on the foot of his kicker right now. That's been a little bit of an issue, as Herbie mentioned, in the field goal department. So the Badgers will see if they can strike to the end zone. Phillips, good time, and got it off between 2 defenders to the 7-yard line. Man, what a throw that was to Sam Arneson, a sophomore from Merrill, Wisconsin.
Remember, they say never throw late over the middle. How in the world did A.J. Tarpley not intercept that football? It went right through his hands. How about the focus by the sophomore Sam Arneson to somehow catch that football? Wow. Phillips catches a break, and Arneson, another great job at receiver from Wisconsin, focusing on the football and securing the catch.
So 54 seconds here now, Herbie. First down and goal. Badgers have the timeout in their pocket still to use. They would like not to have to attempt a field goal, but they're in that range where it's almost like an extra point right now.
Absolutely, and you know, they're very confident. Monte Ball's putting the ball in his hands. Remember early when they got inside the 10-yard line, put the ball in the hands of the jumbo package. Direct snap to James White did not work. This time in this sequence of plays, you got to believe it's going to be Phillips and giving Ball a chance and maybe taking a shot. They still have time. Even though it's 54 seconds and 1 timeout, they still have plenty of time here to work with.
Yeah, Watt is the fullback ahead of Ball. And here comes Monte. Steps out left, cuts back to daylight to the 5-yard line. You know, we've talked about Phillips when he came back in the game. Little Rascals completed 6 in a row. 1 off the face mask, but nice bounce. And they come quickly now. Monte behind the center, and he is up to about the 4-yard line. 28 seconds, 3rd down and goal.
We're going to call the timeout here. Barry Alvarez, you know, Barry Alvarez was an outstanding coach and still is an outstanding coach. He's a Hall of Famer here at the Rose Bowl. But Brett, you don't get a walkthrough. You know, you go from sitting in the athletic director's office to coming down here and all of a sudden walking through some situations in your mind, and then all of a sudden you're out here and you've got to be able to react quickly and call the timeouts at the right time and balance things out. By using that timeout, you got to put the ball up into the end zone now.
Yeah, but the only chance is to throw it into the end zone if you want to think about field goal, because you don't have a timeout left here. But on the other hand, do you pass up number 28 in this, or do you say, okay, we can run 2 plays if we move?
Well, because of the execution and the field goal kicking department for Wisconsin, I don't know if I want to hurry up my backup kicker to have his first Rose Bowl attempt at a field goal. I think you got to take a shot, throw the ball up to Abradaris, or maybe find a tight end, Jacob Pedersen. See if you can make it, throw the touchdown pass, take a chance to get the touchdown. If not, at the very least, you need time to very leisurely be able to go out and kick a field goal attempt by Jack Russell.
3 receivers to the left. Abradaris goes to the right. Monte Ball. They motion Doe, and they'll send him back out to the left. They roll the protection in that side. Fire, caught. Touchdown. That was caught by Jordan Frederick, redshirt freshman from Madison's Memorial High School. Phillips rallies this team. He did a great job.
What's the one thing you can't take there, Brent, on 3rd down without a timeout? A sack. This way they take the pressure off of the offensive line, and Phillips, against a team that leads the nation in sacks with 56, they roll him away from it, put the ball low and away so Frederick can make a play on it. They get the touchdown. Going to make sure he secured this. Take another peek just to make sure he was able to hold on and secure the football. But if it holds up, 10 plays, 85 yards in 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
It was interesting, the picture we had on the sideline before this play. Barry Alvarez was hands-on with his quarterback, explaining to him exactly what he had to have done. The mark of a veteran coach down there, and he was telling him, no doubt, what you were just saying, do not take a sack.
Absolutely.
Got to go in the end zone with this one. Can't get tackled short of it.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
And that is Frederick's first career touchdown, and it could not have come at a more opportune time for the Badgers.
Clearly held on to the ball, and it's a pretty big memory for him for his first career touchdown. Again, Wisconsin gets the ball to start the second half, and I'll tell you what, Brent, having Kirk Phillips as a 5th-year senior, everything that he's been through really pays off in a situation like that.
There's the young man from Madison, Russell, freshman in as a kicker, makes it a 3-point game again.
Go back to the catch by Sam Arneson. It was a gutsy throw, and maybe one that Phillips got away with. Went right through A.J. Tarpley's hands right there. He's thinking about an interception. Somehow it went through his hands. Arneson holds on for the completion and a first down. And then here on 3rd down, they roll away from the pressure. Jordan Frederick, the freshman from Madison, able to hold on for the touchdown. And Wisconsin feeling a lot better for Barry Alvarez. Only down 3 now as we get close to the half.
Good job of coaching by the Badgers, hanging in this game. Down 2 touchdowns quickly on Stanford's first 2 drives, in case you weren't with us. And they steadied the ship a little bit. And then the defense has done a couple of interesting things. They forced a punt out of the end zone to give them good field position, which set up a touchdown. Then they held a drive to a field goal down here. So the defense has come up with a couple of big moments for the Badgers here. And this will go out of the end zone with 19 seconds remaining in the first half.
Go back to those wristbands that Barry Alvarez has talked about in their preparation. Just as a reminder, the all-in wristbands that they pulled out in 2003 to get ready to play #1 Ohio State when Lee Evans caught a touchdown late. It's I'm in and I'm on. And right now, that's never been more evident than this first half for Wisconsin after getting down by 14.
Devin Kajust, one of the wide receivers. Let's see what David Shaw wants to do. A very tight formation. And this is Taylor running to the left, and they're simply going to take this 3-point lead, it appears, into the locker room. Southward takes the headset off, and when he does that, and that means you're going to let the time run out and regroup.
Great first half.
Partner, we got a Rose Bowl.
Oh, we got a ball game coming up.
You know, a lot of people weren't too excited about a 5-loss Badger team here, but as I pointed out, 3 of those 5 losses in overtime. The other 2 by 3 points. Let's go down to Tom Rinaldi with Coach Alvarez.
Barry, welcome back to the Rose Bowl. 2 possessions for Stanford. You're down 2 touchdowns. What was the turning point to get back in this game?
Our kids never lost confidence. They're fighters. We were able to get some momentum, started running the ball. We have good communication, and I think our guys got, our guys, there was just a lot of game left, so we were fine.
Good luck and enjoy the second half, Barry. I appreciate it. Let's go over to Heather.
Tom, thanks so much. Coach, after a quick start, what's your assessment of Kevin Hogan and your offense as this game's progressed?
We've done well, but tiny errors are getting us. We missed a couple throws high. We missed a couple of blocks on 3rd down, which is inexcusable for us. We have to execute if we want to have a chance to win.
We'll let you get to the locker room. Thanks, Coach. Brent, back to you.
Thanks, Heather. Halftime at the 99th Rose Bowl. Stanford 17, Wisconsin 14. Stay tuned now for the Buick Halftime Show. Brent Musburger with Kirk Herbstreit, welcoming you back to the second half of the 99th Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. And Herbie, let's take a look at our coaching adjustments brought to you by the Home Depot.
Well, after Stanford jumped out to a 14-0 lead, Wisconsin had a chance. Monte Ball and the Badgers moved all the way down inside the 5-yard line. Only problem, Monte Ball was not on the field. They went with their jumbo package on 4th down and goal, gave it to James White. Ben Gardner, who hails from Wisconsin, makes a huge play shooting the gap and didn't allow the Badgers to score. Now, here's the adjustment. Late in the first half, 3rd down, they're out of timeouts. Instead of running the ball, they roll away from the pressure, and it's a good job there by the quarterback Phillips finding Frederick for his first career touchdown. So a nice job there by Matt Canada, realizing that, hey, it's a little bit tough sledding in the interior of this Stanford defense. Good job of rolling away from that pressure, but a great first half.
And to start the second half, the Badgers will have the ball, and I agree with Coach Corso. Steady down at 28, coming your way.
Well, I think they've settled in. I think Barry Alvarez and Matt Canada deserve a lot of credit. You even mentioned down by 14. They didn't panic. They didn't throw away the playbook and say, hey, let's start over. Barry Alvarez says, hey, we've been Wisconsin for a long time, even down 14. Long way to go. He mentioned that walking off the field. And, I think that you're going to see more of the same here in the second half. It's going to come down to that final possession by either team.
Lights are on. Sun setting. Taken down in the end zone by Melvin Gordon. He'll take a knee, and it'll come out on the 20-yard line. Let's check in now with Tom Rinaldi. Tom.
Well, coming into this game, Barry Alvarez, Brent, said he fully expected to use two quarterbacks, Kurt Phillip and Joel Stavi, in this football game. We've only seen Stavi throw one pass, a deep ball to Aberderis, which was dropped in the end zone. It fits a situational approach. Alvarez said he'll use Stavi for those throws which best suit his arm strength. That was the play in the first half in which he used him. Would have been a touchdown if Aberderis was able to haul it in. We'll see how he manages the two quarterbacks here in the second half, Brent.
All right, Tom, and Phillips will open up under center. Monte Ball, his running back. A couple of the big tight ends move over to the right. Now he has 3 in total, and they'll run ball on first down, and nothing doing on 1st and 10 as we go down to Heather Cox.
Brent, we talked all week with David Shaw. Every time he said his biggest concern was containing Monte Ball. Well, that hasn't changed. Coming out of the locker room, he said he told his defense that the first guy to him must bring him down. They've got to get into the backfield, stop him at the line of scrimmage. He said, our goal in the second half, no yards after contact. And Kark, as you said, Shaw also said, we prepared all month with the expectation that this game will come down to the fourth quarter. We're ready for it.
2nd down and 10. Phillips on a quick drop to the pass is deflected, incomplete, and it will be 3rd and 10. And guess who? Ben Gardner. What a game the young man from Wisconsin is having.
He said he grew up a huge Ron Dane fan, always dreamed of playing for the Badgers, didn't have a scholarship offer not only from Wisconsin but really from anybody else. He was looking at Northern Iowa when lo and behold, ball guys Jack Harbaugh got an opportunity to see him play and called out to Jim Harbaugh and said, you got to look at this kid Ben Gardner from out here in Wisconsin. They gave him a full scholarship to go out and play at Stanford, and he's had a heck of a career.
White's in the backfield. He helps out on pass protection, and he drops the ball. He was slipping out on a screen pass.
It's the second time we've seen a 3rd down screen, which is not a shock from a very average passing team. I mean, it's set up pretty well here. Phillips does just the right thing here. He looks right, buys enough time, puts it right where White can make a play on it. I think White just got so excited to get downfield, he didn't secure the football first.
Terrell lets it bounce, and it takes a Badger bounce. But Wisconsin unable to take advantage of the first possession of the second half here. And now it will be Stanford's turn when you come back, leading by 3 in the 99th Rose Bowl game. As we take a look at our good hands play brought to you by Allstate. This first catch by Jamal Rashad Patterson. He was coached in high school in Georgia by Mike Rozier.
Mike Rozier had to love that effort. What an amazing catch and concentration by Patterson. And then here on the other side, looks like Tarpley has an interception himself for Stanford, and was right through his hands, right into the tight end Sam Arneson's hands, able to secure that football.
Rozier, of course, won a Heisman Trophy as a running back for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, playing for Tom Osborne. Reaching for the long handoff to Taylor, spins away, and then he is driven back by Borland, number 44.
Linebackers are flowing downhill in a hurry. You had Borland there, Taylor's involved, and even Shelton Johnson, number 24, the safety, just flying downhill in a hurry. When you look at these linebackers, I mean, before the play even has a chance to develop, they're already going towards the line of scrimmage before he even gets the ball into his hands, which of course means Pep Hamilton sees that, and eventually you've got to be able to make him pay for that aggression by throwing the play action pass.
Andrus Peat, the highly touted freshman tackle, is at left tackle for Stanford as we open the second half. Hogan goes down. So they have one of the freshmen who've been so ballyhooed in. David Gilbert makes the stop for the Badgers on that. Andrus Peat, by the way, who's now going off to the sideline. He is out of Chandler, Arizona. Now Montgomery, who's finally healthy, splits out to the right side of this formation for Hogan. And it was movement all over the place. This will cost them 5 yards.
Start. Offense. It was 73. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Cameron Fleming, the right tackle. And he's a redshirt sophomore out of Houston, Texas.
This might be the first time since Kevin Hogan's been a quarterback I've seen this offense a bit out of sync. You can see the creep from Wisconsin. They don't have anybody down. They're all just kind of walking around trying to affect that pass protection.
Now it is 3rd down and 15 for Hogan. Has time. Almost intercepted. Through to Terrell, and he was covered by Devin Smith, the 5th-year senior out of Coppell, Texas.
He's actually open here. He finds a soft spot in the zone. It's just a poor throw by Kevin Hogan. He cuts to the inside. He finds an opening there, right there. He just sits right there. The ball is actually thrown further to the outside, away from the bubble in that zone. Poorly thrown ball and poor read that time by Kevin Hogan.
Abrederis awaits the punt for Wisconsin. Fields it at the 35 and tries to cut upfield. Shook off the first tackler and makes it to the 44-yard line. So we start the second half, and both Wisconsin and Stanford go 3 and out. Badgers turn when you come back.
The Rose Bowl game is brought to you by Nissan. Tweet hashtag Nissan Heisman House for a chance to appear in next year's Heisman House. Allstate. Allstate is a proud sponsor of the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Are you in good hands? And Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coke taste and 0 calories.
A national historic landmark. The Rose Bowl Stadium was built in 1922, and that ESPN broadcast family has been associated with this great game for 25 years. 1st down and 10 for the Badgers. Phillips remains the quarterback. Monte Ball, and Ball picks his way behind the middle of that line. Travis Frederick and Kyle Costigan.
Monte Ball obviously a big part of what Wisconsin needs to do, but we've seen Kurt Phillips and this offense have some diversity, just enough to be able to make the Stanford defense respect, whether it's the jet sweep coming around or we saw a big scramble from him early. Just enough of passing. He's 7 of 10 of 68 yards with a 1 touchdown. You have to have a few wrinkles there to prevent Stanford from loading up on the running game.
On 2nd down and 9, White out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but they use Gordon on that jet sweep. He is cut off, and the Cardinal have been ready for that play since the 1st quarter.
So that's the 10th time that we've seen Wisconsin run some form of a man in motion, a jet sweep where they try to get him the ball. It was such a successful play against Nebraska in the Big 12 championship. And Stanford's had a lot of time to prepare for it. It hasn't necessarily been successful. My point is, I like the fact that they're just running it. It's misdirection. It's like a counter. It's enough to make the defense have to be aware of it. And by running it 10 times, it makes them be aware of it. It can open up the running lanes for Monte Ball.
It's a 3rd down and 5, and I think there's a timeout.
Yeah, full timeout.
So the Badgers burned their first timeout here prior to this 3rd and 5. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
I'm Monte Ball.
I'm James White.
We want to wish you a happy holidays and happy New Year.
Well, a big 3rd and 5 here, Herbie, for the Badgers. What do you think they might dial up?
Well, we've seen some success by trying to isolate Abrederis. A lot of times they'll put him by himself to the top and 3 receivers to the other side. See if they can try to get him the ball. Jacob Pedersen, also 48, is a talented receiver in 3rd downs.
They're going to bring Abrederis in motion this time, which Herbie's a little bit of a change. He has camped out to the left. Phillips rolls, comes in underneath. And that is well short of the 1st down. Terrence Brown and Scove make the play.
And they brought both of their linebackers. Here's a view from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. There's Scove and there's Tarpley. Obviously, Scove is able to get free. And because this passing game isn't very sophisticated, they don't have much of a threat vertically downfield. Stanford had all of their defense underneath and easily made that play well short of the 1st down.
Terrell is back on this punt, and neither team has been able to move the football. Fair catch at the 15-yard line here. Well, the Discover Orange Bowl next up on ESPN. MAC champion number 15, Northern Illinois, looks to make a statement with that high-powered offense. And they'll face ACC champion number 12, Florida State. And there you see Jordan Lynch, 364 total yards in a game, third most in the FBS, and up against a very athletic Florida State team.
Yeah, one of the better dual threat quarterbacks in the country, Jordan Lynch. To me, that game really will come down to whether or not Florida State is interested, especially defensively, in being in that game.
Kevin Hogan. Taylor behind the left side, and that was read beautifully. And coming up is Southward. He's a junior from Sunrise, Florida. Made a fine stop that time for the Badgers.
Right now, you look at what Taylor's done in this game. They've been able to bottle him up for the most part. 11 carries, only 46 yards. And again, I keep watching here on 1st and 10. As soon as the ball is snapped and those linebackers see the guard pulling around, they are immediately coming downhill along with both the safeties, Southward and Johnson, setting up. Again, I'm surprised Pep Hamilton's not trying to challenge him with the play action pass more.
Ertz is flexed off the line. Hogan looks in his direction. Now he's under duress. Gets it off to save the sack. And Taylor dashes back and still going. A lot of activity for about a 1-yard gain.
Hogan has gotten so much credit for keeping plays alive that, you know, remember, he's a freshman. Sometimes it's okay to throw it away or just take off and get as many yards as you can. Here he catches a break by Taylor making something out of this, and it's a big razzle-dazzle. We're all excited. But he's very fortunate that that wasn't more of a 7- or 8-yard loss, because he's trying to always make a play, which you appreciate, but at some point you got to be willing to understand when to throw that football away.
Needs 6 on this 3rd down. And we still don't have a 1st down here in the 2nd half. Southward again making a play.
We've got to give Chris Ash and Charlie Partridge a lot of credit for this plan that they've been able to put together. Stanford scored 14 points early, but they've made some adjustments, and the adjustments are pressure. I think they've settled in. They're starting to understand this scheme a little bit better, and quite honestly, I don't think Stanford's very aggressive right now with their play calling, making it a little easier for Wisconsin to stop the Stanford offense.
Zaklinski. Abradaris awaits for Wisconsin at the 33-yard line, and that's where the Badgers will have it. So defenses on both sides of the ball now have taken charge of this football game. We can't even get a 1st down here in the 2nd half.
It reminds me a little bit here as we get ready for the 2nd half, a little bit of just kind of feeling out one another. The defenses have made some adjustments. Who's willing to be more aggressive offensively? Because if you backfire and you throw an interception, the way we almost saw Hogan do in the last possession, then all of a sudden you're putting your own defense in a really tough position. So somebody's got to get aggressive if they want to be able to move the football against these two defenses.
Play action to Monte Ball. Got time. Couldn't find an open man. And so Phillips will take off. And he'll run for a 1st down to the 45-yard line.
That's what I'm talking about. Be aggressive. Don't be afraid on 1st and 10 to take a chance here. Break a tendency. Everybody knows how tough you are running with Monte Ball, and on the other side with Taylor. Here, 1st and 10, a little bit of play action. Great coverage downfield. And Phillips, who's, again, 3 reconstructive surgeries to his right knee, hobbles across that 1st down marker to be able to pick up a 1st down for Wisconsin.
Now James White checks back in as the running back for the Badgers. Gordon comes in motion on the sweep. Give to White. They are trying to spring White through a hole, and he's got that breakaway ability, but they can't quite get past the linebackers to get him into open space.
Well, the whole key, Brent, is being able to get your guards up to the 2nd level. The linebackers, Shane Scove and A.J. Tarpley, are so active when it comes to defending the run that if your guards aren't quick enough to get up to them, it makes it tough, whether it's Ball or White. But you're right. White's a nice complement to the power of Ball with the elusiveness and the vision and quickness that he brings to the table.
2nd down and 7. This is White in motion. Play action again to Monte Ball. Phillips hit on the breeze, got a man wide open. Chase Hammond. And he is shaken up as Richards unloads, but Hammond was wide open on that far side and running free.
Well, he took his time to develop the play. He had a fake up the middle. He had a fake on the reverse. It took a little bit of time for his receiver Hammond to get downfield. And because he took so much time, it gave Jordan Richards enough time to adjust to the football and lay him out. I mean, Hammond's right there. I think he's maybe peeking downfield at Richards. Obviously, he's got to be able to make that catch for a first down. But to me, this is a play that if it would have been thrown a little bit earlier, it would have been a little bit easier for Hammond not to have those alligator arms and get a little concerned about Richards closing in on him.
Now, you know, we've had a lot of discussion about hits and whether they're legal or not. And this was a very punishing hit. But Terry McCauley, the outstanding NFL referee for a long time up here in the booth, he says that that was a legal and that was a great example of a hit that's hard, football, but clean, and a real good hit by the Stanford safety. We welcome you back to the 99th Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. 17-14, 6:43 to go in the third. And a jarring hit with Chase Hammond. Now over on the sideline, a young man from Youngstown, Ohio. And here comes your third down for the Badgers. Monte Ball is the running back. Abradaris is on the right side of the formation. He comes through it. Phillips deflected incomplete. Badgers forced to punt. And that was Henry Anderson again.
Anderson is so long and active up front at 6'6", 280 pounds. But I think the quarterback this time, he just telegraphs his throw and stares down his intended receiver. But pretty good athletic ability by Anderson. Remember, 6'6", he went up once, he comes down, he went straight back up with another vertical to knock that ball down.
Stanford might have been offside. Booming punt. Terrell fields it at the 8-yard line, and he's down right away. Stanford, and they ran into the kicker also.
Roughing the kicker. That's 15 yards.
Run into the kicker. Defense on the 15. 5-yard penalty.
Oh, well, he looked pretty physical to me. Surprised he was running.
Ran into it. Now there's a 4th and 17, so this will not be a first down on the 5-yard penalty. That's a bad call.
That looks like
you have got to protect the punter in that situation. Thank you very much, Mr. McCauley. You would have made that call and protected the punter.
I thought it was roughing. I mean, you see a guy go into a punter like that. That's Shane Scobe, the middle linebacker. Or, I'm sorry, the safety that time, actually, who got in there, a man-em, but they'll take the punt, put him inside the 10-yard line.
Herbie, the whole idea of that is when you get a defenseless punter with the leg up in the air, you can break a leg or something when you run into him in that fashion. That's why they call roughing and not running into him. Now, sometimes a player will get pushed into him.
Yeah.
This player just came right into him.
Yeah.
Good call by you early, lad.
Yeah, I thought it was 15 and an automatic first down.
It was a 43-yard punt to the 9-yard line. And that's where Kevin Hogan and the lads will be trying to come out here. Defense has taken over the 99th Rose Bowl game. Play action. Hogan on first down. Good runner. Steps for the first down across the 20-yard line to the 24. Mike Taylor finally getting him out of bounds.
I talked about getting aggressive with the play calling by Pep Hamilton. You're going to pull around. You watch these linebackers. When you show tendencies to run the play action game, you linebackers start to cheat up. You've got to do something to be able to make them pay for that. Look at the linebackers cheating down. 1st and 10, bootleg. They're coming up to be able to stop Taylor. They've been doing that the last 3 series. This time they get aggressive and try to make them pay for it. They get the ball out on the perimeter with Hogan running.
And that is Stanford's first down of this half. They come back with Taylor. It has been hard going against his defensive front for Stephen Taylor. Herbie, what has he even got 50 yards yet in this game? Where does he stand?
No, right now he's just about at 50. He's at 49 yards. And I think if you watch the way Wisconsin's defending, it's almost as if they've said, you know what, if they beat us, they're going to beat us with Hogan. They're going to beat us with the passing game. We're not going to let Stephen Taylor beat us with his running game because they are clearly overcommitting against Stanford's run game at this point.
2nd down and 7. Kelsey Young has slipped into the backfield. Hewitt was the target. Incomplete. The fullback.
That is great recognition by the big fellas, really the entire defense. This is what 3.5 weeks of preparation can do for you with film study. Not only the pressure, but look at the defense. Bo Allen is out there. The safety, Shelton Johnson's up tight. Taylor's there, Cromartie. Wisconsin off the tip pass almost comes up with the interception.
3rd down and 7 for Stanford. Taylor is back into the backfield. Look at that Badger defense. Only 2 down up front. 4 creeping forward. Now they rush 4. Hogan a bit befuddled. And he's taken down. There is a penalty flag on the play as he was reaching for the 1st down marker, but the referee threw a flag.
Like maybe a hold there by Wilkes, the left guard. A lot of pressure. They're trying to disguise where the pressure's coming from. And at the last second, Borland and Armstrong dropped after showing blitz.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So
interesting that they took the penalty
yeah,
here. He was short
I guess
of the
they
first
didn't
down.
want to gamble on 4th and 1 that he might go for it on.
Yeah, at his own 30. What the heck?
You know, we should Stephen Taylor and Hogan.
Give Hogan another chance.
They
here
won't take that
down.
chance, so we backed them up 10 yards.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
that's why he's the head coach today, right? Got that bonus,
hey,
right?
We can jump on our guy. He does get a bonus, and we'll show everybody
right?
about that.
That would have been 4th down.
3rd down and 17. Wilkerson is in as the back. Hogan has great time on this play. Couldn't find a receiver, and he's not going to run for a 1st down in that situation. Borland again making the stop. You know, coach loved that play.
The old head coach knew what he was doing. He's sensing that this game is becoming a field position game. Bit of a gamble, but it pays off with that aggressive defense.
Barry Alvarez kind of game.
That's right. It's exactly right.
Yeah, Herbie mentioned something, and right after this kick, we want to show it to you. Aberderis is back deep now again for the Badgers. And he makes the catch at about the 27-yard line. So Herbie said there is a bonus, and indeed there is. This is athletic director's salary in Madison, but for coaching in the Rose Bowl, $118,500. And if he can win this game,
I was going to say, look at that bottom number.
He's buying tonight if we go out, if he wins this game.
No doubt about it. There's a lot at stake for everybody.
You know, he has been a heck of an athletic director. One of the things when you go into Madison for one of their basketball games, they got a great hockey program, women's athlete. He's always around. I mean, he just loves sports of all kinds.
He sure does. He's done a really good job, obviously, in Madison as a head coach and ambassador, athletic director.
Monte Ball in behind Watt. And he's across the 30-yard line. Our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. You know, we would show you Coach Shaw's bonus in this game, folks, but remember, Stanford is a private institution and a very good one at that. So they're able to keep those things under wraps a little bit better than the public schools. But David Shaw in 2 years has done a fabulous job replacing Jim Harbaugh at Stanford. There's Monte Ball. He down at about the 34-yard line of the 3rd down coming up. You know, I asked Coach Shaw, you know, what we have, about 7 NFL coaches lose their jobs yesterday? So I said, your phone's going to start ringing. He said, nope, that's when my contract was extended by Stanford.
Right.
No distractions this week. Not going to be calling, because I got to tell you right now, if I owned an NFL team, one of the college coaches that I would interview is right there. Coach, I spent 9 years in the NFL as an assistant coach. Runs a power game.
Don't chase him away.
No, he's
the NFL. We want to keep him right in power.
He plays. Believe me, he is very happy. Third down now, and Phillips fires complete. Got the first down out to the 45-yard line, and he finds Abradaris.
There's Abradaris on the backside, one-on-one, an opportunity to go up against a freshman, Alex Carter, who's had a really good year. Very physical. He sells it to the outside, comes back in on the quick slant. Once he got the leverage with his body to the inside, it made it very easy for Kurt Phillips to make that throw. That's something that Stanford has got to be aware of. When Abradaris gets from the backside by himself and he gets one-on-one, he's typically going to win that matchup.
Now the jet sweep with Gordon. Coming around right, got a great block across midfield, and Terrence Brown makes a stop. But at the point of attack, he finally got that block on the seal man.
They've been having a hard time getting to the outside, so Pedersen actually kicks him to the outside, and then he allows Gordon to cut underneath it. So instead of sealing it, he just pushes Richards outside, and that gives Gordon enough room there to be able to accelerate upfield. You give him just a little bit of room, and we've seen all year what Gordon can do for this offense.
Second down and 2. White stays in. Gordon in motion and hit in the backfield, anticipating the snap. That was Morrow. It was almost like he jumped across too early, but he just read it perfectly. Watch Morrow get off his stance.
Boy, he and Henry Anderson just do such a good job of being able to get inside in between these gaps. I mean, you're right, he probably guessed there a little bit. That was great anticipation. And I tell you, between he and Anderson, both 6'6", about 280 pounds, really good quickness. They've been disrupting that left side all game.
5-yard loss. Monte Ball checks in as the running back. Phillips steps away to the left. Tries to get the first down and will not get the first down. Could not get to the marker, and hanging on was freshman Alex Carter from Ashburn, Virginia. Briar Woods High School going to be an outstanding defensive back. That young man right there, number 25.
What an effort there by Kurt Phillips just to try to come up with that first down.
Barry's going to send the punt team out here. I'm sure that, for just a second he flashed, but he knows what kind of game this is. This is a ball-controlled defensive struggle, play field position, unless he's got a fake on. Here we go. Coming through with the punt. Hangs it high. And it will bounce out at about the 15-yard line. So Barry says, let's play this field position game. We're down only 3, approaching the fourth quarter. Absolutely.
And it's also Stanford's kind of game. They've had some really close games this year, and they typically like to get into the fourth quarter, scratch and claw themselves. That's what makes this matchup so interesting. Not only are they both physical, good against good and all that, it's also both teams want to get into the fourth quarter and have a chance, and who's going to make a play to be able to win it.
Some of our Warriors. Phillips, Scove on the other side. These youngsters have played their heart out. First down and 10. Hogan's back. Hewitt and Taylor alongside. Going to throw the swing to Taylor. And Taylor is out to the 18-yard line on that first down pass, with Armstrong making the stop on our last play of the third quarter. Time for Badger fans to jump around.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Kirk, there is our director, Derek Mobley's favorite shot every year of the Rose Bowl. The sun setting off to the west. Here in Pasadena now. There are the newest members of the Hall of Fame. The guy you're very familiar with, John Cooper from Ohio State. One of the great linemen of all time, Ron Yeri from USC. And Brian Greasy, who is the radio analyst for ESPN today. He and his dad, Bob, are both in the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame. However, John Cooper is the only coach to win with a Pac-12 team. They were the Pac-10 then, Arizona State, and then later with a Big Ten team, Ohio State. So Hogan keeps it and takes off. Big run to the 32-yard line.
His mobility is always a factor. Here's the view from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. A little play action here. And when he gets out on the edge, there's nobody open out there. Young was covered. The two receivers downfield are covered. And Hogan does what he does, and that's make something out of nothing, able to use his athletic ability and maneuver his way through that Wisconsin defense and pick up a first down. And not only is that a first down, but when you have a quarterback that starts getting to the outside like that, that allows you to get back to your bread and butter, which is Stephon Taylor.
Ball at the 31-yard line on this first down. Hewitt offsets. Play action. Hogan's back, looking deep middle. Montgomery, and he overthrew him. Montgomery had broken free. There was double coverage back there, but Hogan overthrew him.
I'm surprised we've not seen more of this from Stanford with Desmond Southward, the safety, number 12. As much as he's cheating down Shelton Johnson, another safety that's cheating down, there's one-on-one opportunities on the outside. And whether it's Patterson, in this case Ty Montgomery, somebody on the outside is going to have to eventually try to make them pay for that. Otherwise, it's going to be tough sledding to try to move the ball with a quarterback scrambling and just running Taylor.
Wilkerson replaces Taylor. Toss, cuts back the other way. Badgers not fooled. For a big loss, back to the 23-yard line. Bo Allen, one of the defensive linemen, big number 96, 335-pounder.
That play seemed to take forever to develop, and that's what you have with more of a powerful Wilkerson. That's a design play to come back like a counter. But I'll tell you what, people like to knock the Big Ten for being big and powerful and physical. They don't have much speed. I'll tell you what, that Wisconsin defense looks like they're moving around pretty quickly to me.
Stephon Taylor returns as the running back. Hogan can't find an open, has to use the safety valve Taylor. And Taylor will go down shy of the 40-yard line, and Stanford forced to punt.
That is great defense, containing both Hogan as far as his ability to scramble and create, and then chasing the football down, because Taylor in the open field is dangerous. And even though he had a long way to go, once you see this quarterback start to take off, we've seen what he can do with his mobility. You can see how close Taylor came to that first down, but good gang tackle, team pursuit there by that Badgers defense.
Stanford punts it away for the 6th time. Abradaris from the 14-yard line. Down. And there's a penalty flag this time.
Shelton Johnson may have had an illegal block there.
There's no foul in the play for illegal block in the back. There's a side block. First down.
I'm surprised they picked this one up. You can see it. 23 Harris. Watch Shelton Johnson. I don't know if it's the Olay attempt there with his arms out or what. They let it slide.
So we welcome you back. The land of the Green Bay Packers and the Cheeseheads, eh? The Badgers with the football right now. Phillips is the quarterback, coming out from their own 14-yard line, trailing Stanford by 3 points. Monte Ball moving to the left to the 15-yard line. We've talked about Barry Alvarez taking over for Brett Bielema, but I want you to notice, and Herbie, there are 6 other coaches moving on after this game but all of them are working here today under Alvarez in this Rose Bowl. Remarkable.
I don't know if we've ever seen that in the Rose Bowl. It's such an accomplishment for his staff and for players to get to the granddaddy of them all. I've never seen this many coaches, after they play in this game and coach in this game, they take a shower. They're all getting on different planes to go to different schools.
Here's Gordon on the jet sweep. Now, Gary Anderson was hired as the head coach, and he is on the sideline. This is a man who did a remarkable job at Utah State. Their first 11-win season, almost beat the Badgers in Madison. They had a field goal to win it and couldn't convert. See, a young man who has worked at Utah, and he's done a great job. He beat Alabama as one of the assistant coaches in a Sugar Bowl. This is a fine head coach and a great selection by Barry Alvarez.
Barry Alvarez lost a great one in Brett Bielema and found a great one in Gary Anderson. By the way, he used to work for Urban Meyer, obviously, while he was out in Utah.
Monte Ball straight ahead, hit right short of the first down marker. He is brought down by David Perry, and David Perry is a story. He had to replace Terrence Stevens, and Terrence Stevens was suspended, the fine nose man for Stanford.
How about the sophomore from Iowa? He has played all this game and a game against UCLA very well, and we're having to replace Stevens. That time, third down and short, just use his quickness to be able to get around the polling lineman.
Terrell is back deep. And the punting game continues here in the second half of this Rose Bowl. Late fair catch signal, and there is a penalty flag. There was contact as he was making the catch. I thought with the naked eye that it looked like the signal was a little late, but the officials disagreed, and they were much closer than I was.
After the play, personal foul on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. Running into the receiver. Automatic. First down.
Shelton Johnson was downfield and covered.
I think it was late here. That's probably what maybe caught Johnson by surprise.
Oh, he tried to get out of the way.
Yeah, he is. But he did make contact. But the thing that's interesting here, Brent, is talk about a game of field position. 15 yards will cost you.
Timeout.
The Rose Bowl game is presented by the Vizio Fandemonium Fan Challenge. Learn more at Vizio.com/Rose Bowl. The 2013 Chevrolet Silverado, working hard on and off the field. Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live más. And AT&T, official sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series.
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl, and Kirk, it's been a struggle for Stanford here lately.
Wisconsin has cranked up the intensity, and we've seen Stanford also, I think, get a little bit more conservative in this second half.
Taylor breaks a tackle. Good second effort run by the tailback, close to a first down. Cromartie makes the stop.
Yeah, these first two drives, I mean, it looked like Stanford was going to score a lot of points, 14 points. But in the last 8 drives, look at this. David Shaw trying to figure things out. As I said, I think it's a combination of Wisconsin getting more confident, getting more aggressive on defense with their linebackers and safeties against the run, containing Kevin Hogan when he is thrown. And I think now we're going to find out who really wants to win this game more, because both these offenses have been struggling quite a bit.
Hewitt, the lead block. And that time the defense won, but Taylor picked up the first down. And that's the first snap in Wisconsin territory since about midway through the first quarter by this team.
Yeah, it's been, I think, a bit of a surprise for Kevin Hogan. Like you and I have seen him in these last 4 games, and always seems that Stanford is dictating things to the defense that they're going up against, and that's not been the case after those first 2 drives. This is where they like to throw the ball to the tight ends once they empty the set.
And they emptied it by sending Taylor out. They looked back underneath, and they did hit Ertz. Good call, Herbie. That's for a first down. Well, no, they're going to mark it a little bit short now.
Yeah, they spread them out because they want to try to get Toilolo up against Borland, or Ertz up against Taylor. This time he can choose either side. He goes towards Ertz, who finds a nice little hole there between the safety, or the corner that time, Smith, And also the linebacker. See the linebacker's eyes? He looked back into the quarterback. Ertz is able to get away from him. Nice, easy throw, and you see Hogan there back in rhythm.
Young motions out of the backfield. Toilolo is the tight end on the right side of the formation. Hogan looking to the right, comes in underneath. And he hit Kajust, Devin Kajust that time, and there's a penalty flag down.
That flag came in late.
It's down right around the 30-yard line.
I think the referee himself threw that flag.
During the play, legal block in the back. Offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty, second down.
That's Kevin Danzer that he ID'd.
It's a big, big mistake there by Stanford. Boy, they have a block. There's the block. That's the reason. It's look at the official staring at it. You'll see him throw his flag right there. Good call right on top of it in a crucial mistake if Stanford can't keep this drive alive. They kind of, for the first time since this second drive, they had some momentum going there, and then they set themselves back there with a penalty by Dancer.
The highly touted freshman Pete is back in at left tackle on this second down. Young and keeping his Hogan breaks free across the 30-yard line for a big first down.
They have Kelsey Young in the backfield, and this is a nice read by Kevin Hogan. Kelsey Young's going to grab the attention of David Gilbert, and when Gilbert took Young away, nice job by Hogan pulling it away from his running back. This is something they've not shown the entire game. A little zone read. Good job. You can see the lineman getting up to Mike Taylor, the linebacker, and a nice wrinkle that time by Pep Hamilton here late in this game, something they haven't shown the whole ball game.
Now another of the talented freshmen, Kyle Murphy, is into that offensive line. They look like a jumbo set, and they run Taylor behind it, and now they're starting to wear down the front. Down to the 20-yard line on that first down, and they are substituting tackles and guards now on the Stanford side and muscling.
And they're also doing a good job of being more aggressive with the play calling. We've seen them go to empty. We've seen them try to mix up their formations and personnel groupings. Been more aggressive. They're getting in and out of the huddle a little bit more aggressively. I think they sense that this is a crucial opportunity and a big drive here for both of these teams late in the fourth quarter.
Here they come again. And they are short of the first down. It's going to be third down.
Missed 8 straight third downs, but have a much better chance here on third down and 1.
Wilkes is back in as one of the offensive linemen. They continue to substitute in that front. They've got third down and a yard. Wilkerson is going to be your running back. Toss play to Wilkerson to daylight. First down and out of bounds. At the 12-yard line, Johnson gets him out of bounds.
Great call here by Pep Hamilton, David Shaw. Wisconsin pinching, anticipating the inside run game, and whether it was a bootleg naked or just get it to the outside like a quick pitch there to Wilkerson, something to the edge was a gutsy call and the right call that time on third down and short for Stanford.
Stephon Taylor back in the lineup for the Cardinal. Ward is the fullback. Taylor, and he is hit in that backfield. Fine defensive play by Pat Muldoon, the redshirt junior from Mason, Ohio, St. Xavier High School.
Yeah, that's a powerhouse program, one of the best in the country. Steve Speck does a really good job there at St. X, but boy, this is a nice job of him just slipping off of his block and being able to get into the backfield. They've talked all week to us about one of the ways to slow down. Taylor is obviously getting penetration and getting upfield. Muldoon able to do that there on first down.
And on second down, Hewitt checks back in as the fullback. He's also an outstanding receiver. He's a lead blocker this time, and Taylor still going. Taylor with his best running of the day in this drive is across the 5-yard line.
Boy, seems to be finding his own rhythm. We're talking a lot about Kevin Hogan, but this power running game, you need a guy who can get through some tackles. Wisconsin knows it's coming, still cannot be able to make the play. That time Desmond Southward came in clean, had a chance to keep him to a short gain, but he's able to pick up some tough yards there to give him a chance here on third down. This is where Ertz and Toilolo are very effective.
This is the 11th play of this drive. Hewitt is off to the left. They're going to bring him in motion. Roll the pocket to the right. Fire too high. Toilolo, even at 6'6", could not get up in the air. Herbie to grab it.
Yeah, they've done this all year where they love to get the tight ends isolated and put him one-on-one. Toilolo at 6'8", again, Ertz at 6'6". He's just got to make the right read, and Toilolo just a little bit too high, tries to extend himself. And you like what Hogan's thinking. I got a guy at 6'8". Let's put it up in the air high where he's got a chance to make the play. But that's a huge stop by Wisconsin with 4:26 to go in this game.
Now it's Jordan Williamson, 22-yard attempt. Zaklinski, the punter, will put it down. Perfect. It's a 6-point lead. And twice the Badgers have held Stanford to field goals. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Tires that go the distance make Goodyear a fan favorite. Goodyear, more driven. Wonderful scene here in Pasadena. And this crowd got its money's worth as we send along a Happy New Year. It's already 2013. The Badgers down by 6 in front of 93,359. White and now Gordon is back to return this kickoff also. So a couple of the speedier Badgers are back on this. And this is Gordon. And White's going to have him just let it go out of bounds. The BCS on ESPN, available live anytime, anywhere on your computer, tablet, or smartphone at watchespn.com. Now with the Watch ESPN app. Which brings to mind a note that I was told that Stanford became the first football team to put their playbooks on an iPad. Every player on the Stanford team, they have all their plays and the game plans are sent to them on their iPad. It's amazing how far technology has advanced here.
Not a shock that Stanford would be the pioneer of that.
Maybe they got a discount. We're going to step aside. 4:23 left when you come back, and the Badgers down, but only by 6. Welcome back to the 99th Rose Bowl game, presented by Vizio. First down and 10. Phillips, the Badger quarterback. Jet sweep, Gordon. Cuts, breaks a tackle, 30, and he is out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. A first down run on their first down play.
Great call here by Matt Canada. We've not seen Montee Ball very effective here in this second half. In fact, only 11 yards rushing in the second half. I love the fact that they go to the perimeter run game with a jet sweep. Not only does it pick up the first down, something to just try to keep in mind for this Stanford defense, especially the linebackers and defensive backs.
Now they bring back in Montee Ball, the hammer. And he twists his way to the 39-yard line on that first down run. And David Perry, the nose man, with another stop.
Can't help but think about Kirk Phillips and what he did to just be out on this field. 3 reconstructive surgeries to his right knee. It's been talked a lot about the hours that he put in rehab to try to come back, and only to get hurt again and come back and get hurt. And here he is with a chance to try to drive his team to a victory.
White checks in. Gordon on the sweep the other way. And Gordon close to a first down to the 45-yard line. So here comes up third and short with 3:18 left on the clock. Badgers trail it by 6. Barry Alvarez has to consider 4-down territory right now. If he gets stuffed by this defense in front of Stanford, he's got to at least think about it after that last drive by the Cardinal. Straight ahead. Ball. And I believe he got the first down. I think he'll get the spot. And let me check that. That was James White who had checked in from the sideline that time. And I believe he got it.
Stanford on these short yardage situations doing a really good job of jumping the snap count and anticipating the run and shooting the gaps. Wisconsin fortunate at that time to be able to pick up that first down. Now they get back to 1st and 10. You're under 3 minutes. You got 2 timeouts. Back in a shotgun. They're going to have to make something happen eventually in the passing game.
Roll the pocket to the left. Phillips with an underneath completion to midfield. So they pick up 4+ yards on that. And Kenzel Doe, he's a sophomore from Reidsville, North Carolina, makes that catch for the Badgers. And now 2nd down at midfield. Clock winds down close to 2 minutes now.
Aberderis at the bottom, one-on-one with the freshman.
Phillips fires middle, intercepted. Picked off at the 41-yard line by Uswa Amanam, who has made a couple of big plays in this. Remember way back in the first half when they missed an interception? Well, they didn't miss this time with Manham, and that's the first turnover of this very well played Rose Bowl game.
Brent, it's a great interception by Amanam, but let's also give credit to the defensive line. Josh Morrow in the middle gets his hands up right there and knocks that ball away. The deflection at the line of scrimmage by Morrow sent the ball actually away from Pedersen into the waiting arms of Amanam, and he comes up with a big interception. The ball is bounced sometimes in favor of Wisconsin off the tip ball, and this time, of course, it falls in favor of the Cardinal.
Now the Badgers will have to think about using their timeouts as they attempt to stop the Cardinal in an effort to get the ball back. Taylor, who ran so very well on that last drive, takes it now to the 45-yard line on that 1st down run. Now we're inside of 2 minutes. And they've got to stop the clock and not let so many seconds run away here if they're going to stop this drive. They've got to stop the clock.
They're just coming down hoping that they're going to give them this 1st down and the first play, and it basically comes down to whether or not Stanford can get a 1st down. You have 2 timeouts left. Letting it go here means that Barry Alvarez is waiting for 2nd, and if they can get the 3rd down, to use their timeouts.
Bringing the play clock down. Hogan milks it. Hands off, and now Taylor breaks free for a 1st down. Clock stops briefly. Let's see if they got the spot. I may have. I think it's short.
Now you got to use
short.
Now you use your 2nd timeout,
which they do. Clock is stopped with 1 minute. He thought for a moment that they had the 1st down, and that's why he did not call that timeout immediately. I think you could read his lip. Let's take a look now at our Taco Bell touchdown spotlight. We go to the Cardinal and we go on their first 2 drives, Herbie.
Yeah, the first couple drives, it looked pretty easy for him. This is a little reverse here to Kelsey Young for a touchdown, and Cardinal were starting fast. They had a big pass play to set up Taylor's first touchdown, and then it got pretty defensive after that. It's been tough sledding for both teams.
1 field goal here. Second half of this ball game, 3rd down. Now Hogan. Taylor's behind Hewitt. Taylor for the 1st down easily across the 45-yard line. And Coach Shaw and the Cardinal are headed for a Rose Bowl triumph. We'll be right back with the Ford BCS postgame show and Rose Bowl trophy ceremony. Don't forget that that's coming up next.
a remarkable job by David Shaw and the Stanford Cardinal in a year where they lost not only Andrew Luck, but their top 3 receivers. Nobody thought they'd ever get to Pasadena, let alone secure a victory for David Shaw. 3 straight BCS bowl games for this program. Remarkable.
Did not come easy today. They were in a dogfight with the Badgers. And Wisconsin just could not move the football effectively against this Stanford defense. And in the end, they committed the big turnover, the game's first turnover. And hugs all around as Stanford pours onto the field. David Shaw wins his first Rose Bowl as a head coach. Barry Alvarez loses his first after 3 victories. Let's go down now to Heather Cox and the winning coach.
Thanks so much, Coach. Congratulations. First Rose Bowl since 19... Well, we're going to do an interview real quick. One quick interview, Coach. First Rose Bowl since 1972. What does that say about where this program is?
To be honest, we're still on the ascent. We can still play so much better, and that's our charge now, is to take this victory, celebrate it, but get ready to buck up and play better next year.
Coach, you told us that you don't have a lot of lows and a lot of highs. Can we finish here? Guys, I'm being told that Coach needs to go to the trophy presentation, Brent.
All right.
Are you
Heather,
kidding?
Heather, thank you very much. And that's a little bit unfortunate because it had been set up that the winning coach would do an interview, but you know, communication fails from time to time and nobody is told. But let's go to Tom Rinaldi now.
Brent, thanks very much. Alongside Kevin Hogan. Kevin, week 9, you took this team over. All you did was beat ranked teams 4 weeks in a row. Now Rose Bowl champion. How do you explain the journey?
If I could have said that I planned it like that, I'd be lying. But you know, the transition, being able to hand the ball off to Stephon Taylor, having a great offensive line up front, made the job a whole lot easier for me. And I can't say enough about the teammates around me. We just all came together after that loss to Notre Dame and, you know, won the Rose Bowl.
Nobody wanted to be the guy that had to succeed Andrew Luck. Ultimately, you did, and you succeeded to him.
Andrew's a great player. It's always hard to follow in someone like that's footsteps. But like I said, it's easy when you get to throw the ball to Zach Ertz, Drew Terrell. So it's really not as hard as it looks.
Congratulations, Kevin. Well done. Heather?
All right, we've got Coach Shaw again. Sorry for the miscommunication. Thanks for joining us again. Coach, before the game, you told me that you never have real highs and you don't have lows and that sometimes it can be a curse. Are you allowing yourself to be a little bit emotional now?
Not yet. I'll get that way in the locker room. But these guys, they deserve this one. We fought hard to the end. And a lot of people didn't give this Wisconsin team credit, but they're a good physical football team. They played extremely well coached, and our guys just finished the game at the end.
And that certainly showed in the second half when it really became a defensive showdown. Offense came to a standstill. At that point, how did your philosophy and mindset have to change?
You know, we just wanted to execute better. We were not going to change our game plan. We wanted to execute better, and that last drive, we finally did it. We finally blocked the guys we're supposed to block. Stephon hit the ball great. Wilkerson helped us out a bunch, and our guys played extremely well.
And your defense was phenomenal. What was your reaction on that final interception?
And just, to be honest, relief. Relief. We talked about it at halftime. We got our hands on 5 balls in the first half, and it's unlike us to intercept those, not to intercept those balls, and we finally got one.
Go have some fun, celebrate. Now we'll let you go to the trophy presentation. Thanks, Coach.
All right, Heather, great job down there. And Herbie, your final thoughts here on this Rose Bowl?
Just people that have not seen Stanford's program, I hope people understand and recognize the program that they have become. Jim Harbaugh started this. People thought they would go away when Jim Harbaugh went to the 49ers. People thought they'd go away when Andrew Luck left to go to the Colts. This program with David Shaw in command and with 2 great coordinators, this program, as he said, is still ascending. They're still growing and becoming a legitimate BCS power program. 3 straight BCS bowl games, and I think this win sent a message to America.
Well, we'll stay right here for our trophy
I'm always amazed when
ceremony,
you think.
and as they get everything ready down there with Chris Fowler and the gang, will be coming along with a presentation of the most valuable offensive and defensive players. Great celebration by the Stanford Cardinal. And of course, after we finish with our post-game show, we're going to send you down Miami way for the Discover Orange Bowl between Northern Illinois and Florida State. Welcome to the Ford BCS post-game show. Well, we welcome you back as Stanford finishes off a 12-2 season with a Rose Bowl victory over Wisconsin. And they're all getting ready down below to get the trophy. So let's send you to Chris Fowler. Chris.
Brent, thank you. Another suspenseful Rose Bowl, folks. And joining me on the stage is Mr. Ben Wong, the president and COO of Vizio, and Sally Bixby, the 2013 Tournament of Roses president, who will present the Rose Bowl trophy to a soaking wet but very happy Coach David Shaw of Stanford. Sally?
So, Coach Shaw, I would like to congratulate you on winning this exciting game.
Thank you.
David, congratulations. Joined by your family up here. It's been more than 4 decades since the Stanford team has won that beautiful trophy. What are you most proud about this performance today?
And most importantly, I'm proud about how we fight. Our guys fight. It's not always pretty. It's not always perfect, but we never stop. We always keep going. And you know what? We finish when we start.
Many people said this wasn't going to be possible. You lose your great quarterback, Andrew Luck, to the NFL. I guess this game today befits the Stanford personality, doesn't it?
There's no question. There's no question. We play as a team. We play as a team. We'll have guys graduate. We'll have guys leave again. But we'll charge them back up and get ready to get after it this winter.
This was a game for the defenses. No first downs in the third quarter, hanging on to the lead. How much faith did you have in your group at the end, holding that 6-point lead?
We just truly believe. Since that Notre Dame game, if we know if we get close at the end, we have a chance to win it, our guys will pull through.
David, 23-4 now in 2 years here. What does this say about the overall health of this Stanford program? You've been seeking national respect for a while.
We still feel like we don't have it, so we're going to come back and charge after it again next year.
It's good to keep that chip on the shoulder, but I think more people realizing how good a program this is. David, congratulations, the Cardinal champions of the Rose Bowl. Let's bring in now the offensive and defensive players of the game. Tournament of Roses offensive MVP is Stephen Taylor. It was a grinded-out defensive game. Your longest run from scrimmage was 10 yards, but you finished up with 88 hard-earned yards. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I mean, we knew it was going to be a physical game coming in. And all I can say, I love my teammates.
It was, at times, it had to be a frustrating game for the offense, as you guys really couldn't move the sticks there in the third quarter as you're trying to protect the lead. Take us into the mindset there as you finally got that drive to go up 6.
Yeah, I mean, we were coming out wanting to score. But, I mean, if we didn't, we knew our defense was going to do well, like they have all season, keeping us in games. But, I mean, we know what we need to do. We need another first down, and we got that, and then we got the win.
Talk about your young quarterback, Kevin Hogan. Not easy to be a young guy and handle this big stage and the pressure. Made enough plays today.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing that ever since he's been starting. You know, he's carrying his team, making it a real dual threat, you know, and come in these big games and just play his heart out. I mean, I respect him a lot for that.
All right, congratulations. A hard-earned offensive player of the game, Stephen Taylor. The defensive player of the game, the man who sealed it with the pick, was Amadim, and this was a defensive kind of game. You're being serenaded by the teammates behind you here.
Yeah, it was. I think we knew coming into the game. I mean, both defenses had upwards of a month to prepare for our offenses, so I think we knew it was going to be a defensive battle, and thankfully we came out on top.
Offensively, you couldn't punch it in to build a 10-point lead, so you knew they were going to get the ball back with a chance to win. They got to midfield. Take us through the interception that sealed it.
It was a max drop. I just had my spot drop, and I followed the quarterback's eyes. The rush got to the quarterback. I think someone tipped the ball. I'm not sure who, but I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. I mean, one single play didn't win the game, but fortunately, that kind of sealed it.
All those hours of tape study put you in the right place at the right time. Talk about the big guys up front who did such a good job all season long, not just today.
Oh man, all year. They make things for us on the back end really easy. So I'm really grateful for them, and I can't wait to play with them again next year.
So Stanford, a rugged, hard-earned Rose Bowl victory, the third straight decided by a touchdown or less. Congratulations once again to David Shaw and the Cardinal. Brett, back up to you.
All right, Chris, thank you very much, and congratulations to the Stanford Cardinal, their outstanding coach David Shaw, and the great players who did such a job today against Wisconsin in a real hard-fought Rose Bowl game here today. They win it by 6 points. And there's David Shaw's little boy in his arms along with the trophy. And to the winner goes the Gatorade bath. We'll be right back. Stephon Taylor, the MVP of this game, and he really stood up on the last drive of this game. And one thing that stands out, Herbie talked about how this program has risen over the last few years, how tough they've become. Under Jim Harbaugh, that offensive line was one of the best out west, and they just continue it here today.
The interesting combination that I think a lot of people underestimate is not only is Stanford a program that is able to recruit an individual that obviously is concerned about his academics and his life after football, but what people don't get is that with David Shaw's NFL background, Derek Mason's NFL background on the defensive side, Pep Hamilton's offensive NFL background, they're able to recruit guys and talk them into getting a great education and also winning some football and turning guys up to the NFL, which every 18-year-old still has a goal of doing. That's a unique combination of things that they have to offer, and that's why they've been able to win so many games.
And I'll see you in Miami as we get ready for the BCS championship game. That, of course, is next Monday in Miami, Notre Dame, and Alabama. And now, a great hug from the coach, Willie Shaw, his father, longtime coach himself. And David Shaw is so happy with his job at Stanford. And he wants them to be not just an every other year force. He wants them to be the Alabama of the West. Let's go to Chris Fowler.
That's a tall order, Brent, but, you know, David Shaw Desmond said that he still doesn't believe that the Stanford program gets respect. Back-to-back-to-back BCS Bowl games. They've won 2 of the 3. He's won 23 games in 2 years. You know him very well.
Yeah.
He keeps a lot inside. Only there at the end with his family was the emotion coming out.
You know, David is a guy he's an introspective guy. He's an introvert. He doesn't let his feelings show a lot. He doesn't wear his emotions on his sleeve, but he's a very good coach, and he wants his program, his players, to get the respect that USC used to get when Pete Carroll was there, or that Oregon gets right now with Chip Kelly, because they've beaten these programs, but they still don't think they get the respect nationwide that Oregon Ducks program gets. I understand his when he says that, not his pain, but just how unhappy he is with the lack of respect his players get. I think it's more about the program as players.
You still don't think people around the country, whether it's the media or fans from other conferences, think Stanford is an elite program?
Because when you look at Oregon, you look at what Chip Kelly does, everyone gets wooed by the numbers, the spread, the fast, quick guys and all this. But I don't think they really appreciate what Stanford brings to the football table as far as the way they play the game. They're smart. They're disciplined. They don't hurt themselves. They have great defense. On offense, they run the ball. It's like an old school type of offense. And that's what really got them to win tonight. Because when they got away from who they were, they struggled. I mean, it's like they just traded punts for the first quarter and a half. But then once they got back in the I formation, they ran the power O. They pulled the guard and led him through the hole with a fullback. I think that's when they started to get back to Stanford football, and that's who they are.
You said they're smart. They're all so mean and nasty. There's a bunch of guys on that roster, whether they're Harbaugh recruits or not, who have that personality. You talked about some of the unsung guys in the Stanford defense. You might know about the Thomases, the Murphys, guys like that who are All-Americans, but down through that roster, there's a lot of defensive talent on Stanford.
There really is. And, you know, you have a lot of guys to me who are what we call hybrids, that they can play in or they can play linebacker. And you have number 58, he was a nose tackle, Perry. He stepped in, came up big in the second half for them. And, you know, when you talk to David Shaw, he talks about his players almost like they're his sons, and he has a lot of respect respect for his players, and he understands what they're going through, you know, especially academically, and to get the respect athletically that they're accomplishing on the football field.
Quick thought on Wisconsin, Desmond. We've seen them now in consecutive years lose to TCU, Oregon, and now Stanford late, all within a touchdown. It's very painful for them to walk out of here coming up short again.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You know, I'm a Big Ten guy, so I like to see the Big Ten Conference do well in bowl games. I thought that Wisconsin had a chance to win, but there were some questionable play calls throughout the game that I think didn't give them the best opportunity to win this game tonight. I spoke to some Wisconsin alums after the game, and they said, you know, Desmond, we had some questionable calls by the referee. I said, you had some questionable calls by the coaching staff, too, that didn't really allow you the opportunity to win this game tonight.
Talk about Big Ten in bowls. It continues to be a problem here. 1-9 now for the Big Ten in the last 10 Rose Bowls. And in January bowls in the last 3 years now, Northwestern got the win. Right. Slides to, what, 4-13. Next up, we'll see if Northern Illinois can pull off a shock against Florida State. Our friend Mr. Corso seems to think so. You don't agree.
I don't agree with Coach Corso. I think Florida State has the better team. I think they're going to be motivated. I think they're going to win this game.
So hugs all around for many generations of the Shaw family as Stanford survives a rugged one, 20-14. The football feast continues now in South Florida. Champions of the ACC and the MAC, the Seminoles and the Huskies, to Joe Tessitore and Matt Miller.